It's somewhat like from Star Trek.
Show me that funky wheelchair. Have you got an electronic one?
And my mouth.
What's this?
He's unmuted your mic. So we can talk.
We can talk, but we can't hear you.
Carl can talk, but he can't be heard.
Dear.
Nod if you can hear us.
Maybe it's because I'm here, and they're doing technical stuff.
I think Carl wants to teach us all sign language in 2 hours.
I think he's singing that song he was this morning by the looks of it. With all the.
Oh dear. Here we go. Fiona's going to teach us all Macaton now.
I can do that.
It's not Macaton.
No. It's probably because I'm here. They're making things difficult.
The glass you was using for the other day.
I don't remember. Did I walk out with it?
I don't think so.
I might have. I think I did. I might have done.
Probably there's one somewhere. I shall go and find one.
Oh dear. Does this happen a lot?
No, it's happened about twice since last August, I think. So.
Oh, I think he's found something. Oh, he's actually just watching the football.
No.
It's football.
No.
No idea. My level of interest in football extends as far as if Portugal loses, everyone gets sad for a day, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
But hey, they shouldn't cheer up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. We were in the local bar when Portugal lost that night, didn't they? Yeah, we were in the local bar when Portugal lost their last game.
Mm-hmm.
They were very they're brilliant though. We turned up just after it started, so the bar was packed. We couldn't get in. So the barkeeper brought a television out to us so we could watch it. Actually on the Esplanade, or really just outside the front door. And so the thing was that their telly inside was delayed because it was internet telly, and ours was real time because it was landline. So we saw the Portuguese goal before the Portuguese did. So we were there going, "Way!" Portuguese come out, what? They were about 10 seconds behind us, so that was very funny.
I love it when they try and broadcast the New Year thing, and it all goes wrong, and everyone's like, "It's 10, 9, 8. No, it's 10. No, it's not. No, it's 10. Oh, it's too late." Because they get it all back to front.
Is Carl live?
Well, we'll watch this space.
If he is, he's sitting very still.
I think he's doing this just in order to get us used to not having him here. You see,
I think so. Yeah,
it's a gradual withdrawal, a bit like Brexit.
Oh, we have a voice. I heard it.
Someone we did about with the buttons again. Who did that?
Who did what?
Someone's been messing around with the buttons again. I think it could be Mrs. Emma. It could be little Solomon who was in here. And we got Joel here now. I'm so sorry about that. That's a really bad start to the last show, isn't it? But
it's appalling how you deal with this.
This is what I want. This is what I wanted to do. Okay. This is where the trouble started.
Hey.
That's how it used to begin. Can you remember how many iterations this show has been through?
No.
Well, I wasn't in at the beginning, so.
Well, I got a little slideshow for you. If you want to, should we start with that?
Go on then.
And
Yeah.
we've got some lovely comments. A lot of people have turned up tonight, which is fantastic. I'm drinking beer tonight. Ginger
What?
beer.
Yeah.
There you go. It says it's
Okay.
authentic taste of Jamaica. Turn up the Freya. It says on here. So that's what I'm doing tonight. Turning up the
That's
Freya.
all Jamaican ginger beer. That's great.
Racist. Okay, racist ginger beer. Okay, and on many levels, I suspect. Okay, well, keep talking, lads, until I've got this slideshow ready, if that's what you're waiting for there.
Okay.
Well,
We'll keep.
How are we this evening?
Oh, okay, I'm good.
We're-
How about you?
Good, but a bit sad, you know.
Who is that next to you, Gary?
I don't know, this chap just strolled in. I don't know who he is. He just came in of his own accord. Yeah.
Will, so good to see you in the man cave. This is beautiful tonight. Fantastic.
It's all a bit strange. I'm so used to just my face, me, and suddenly I have an interview with Gary, and now you guys are all here, and I can interact with you. It's lovely.
And the videos you're putting up on Facebook, do you go out to town and put a hoodie on to record those from the street?
Do I what? Put a hoodie on?
No, you
Yeah.
Say again.
I mix it up. I've got my Assassin's Creed look. I've got my bandana look. I'm done. I'm professional again now.
This is his interview look.
I see. Very good. I
I
like
Assassin's Creed this.
This
So
is
tell us
fantastic.
about what
This is
happened with the interview then. What's it for? Is it to send to the WHO?
Well, I've been thinking about this for a while, and I thought, okay, let's go broke for it. So we sat there and we recorded an interview for 20 minutes. I asked him a number of questions and explained to him what was going to happen. Now, very, very rare have I ever shot anybody all in one go without any editing. But you could watch this with actually being edited. In fact, I'm far worse on camera than Will is.
And I didn't swear, and I didn't
swear,
get angry.
and there was no fighting, or nothing got broke. Such a bloody good interview. And this is my little project now. Maybe, I'm going to start interviewing interesting people. And it was great to start with one of the most interested of them all. So I was really proud of him.
Yeah. So I can't wait to see it. So let's see. So many people here. This is fantastic. And I was thinking, where is everybody? They're obviously waiting for the invitation link, aren't they? So that's open to everybody who wants to jump on tonight. So Stephen, Andrew, that's what they're waiting for. Eric, Jay, of course, as well. So I don't need to read out their comments. Ken, thank you for your lovely email. Really appreciate that. Ola Bonoit to you, Ken. And word is that this will continue. So what's been fantastic about the opportunity for fellas to get together all over the world will continue in some way. We'll talk to Andy about that when he joins us. Good evening, all. Can't believe the man cave is ending. Maybe changing, Scott. Let's see. Let's not be too dramatic just yet. Pete Bleach, sad it's the last one, especially with no end in sight of the virus, both in Portugal and in the UK. Hope everyone is well. Thanks for the company, fellas and ladies. Isn't this lovely? Look at these lovely men on the screen. Problem I've got, oh no, that's good. We can see everybody on that particular shot, can't we?
Hey, Carl, can I just jump in for a second?
Go on, Eric. Yes, please do.
Actually, we had a storm go through here about 2 hours ago, and I have no power. So I'm sitting out on my balcony here. My phone is set up as a hotspot, and my laptop has so much battery left, so I'll be here until I can't do it anymore.
So the power's out in North Carolina?
But in parts of Charlotte, yes.
Parts of Charlotte. And so you look like you might be sat on your balcony with chewing tobacco with your gun over your laps on a rocking chair, maybe.
No, I'm on my apartment's on the 3rd floor. My gun is inside, and I'm just having some beer.
Brilliant. Oh, that's reassuring. Victoria's here as well. Hola, boys. ¿Cómo va? He's Lee's here as well. Marcos Valbon, I'm waiting for you guys. Yes, sorry, it was a bit of a bumpy start. I don't know what happened. Someone's been messing around with buttons here. I hope to see folks in person when they're in September. Absolutely, Scott. Got to be done. Hello, Lee. Antonio F is here as well. Thank you, Antonio, for joining us. Appreciate it. Let's see the comments addressed to us. Love Carl's pensive portrait. Yeah, that was really good. That we were sent. I'll put that up again in a minute. The cover photo. Or the illustrations that were sent to us. I don't know what you thought of yours, Andy. Did you see it?
Yes.
Mark Stoll is here as well. Good evening, Mark. I love the 3 out of 5 men prefer hair on the face than on their head. Upside down heads here. Joel, hello to you. Sorry, I didn't say hello to you yet.
Boa noite.
You're right. Boa noite. Not sure men have much choice with the latter hair location. David Durham.
The thing is with Portuguese men, in particular, is we lose hair here, but we grow everything else.
Very nice. What, hair or everything else?
Hair.
Oh, hair, right, okay. Victoria, maybe the next time I see you will be in person. How cool will that be? Yes, long overdue. Rocket Man. What's that about then? From Evo de Silva. US blokes. I won't read out the comments. Oh yeah, I will read Andy's comments out because he's not here yet. Or have I just not put him on the screen? Or is he here? You are there. You can read your own comments out. Fantastic. Good evening to you, Andy. Alyssa is here as well. Bonoit, turn the power on the mic. Yes, thank you, Stephen, for your coaching there. It made all the difference. Nubian is here. Hey! And yes, Lee McGrady, I'll read your comment out for you here. The last man cave.
I'll repeat
it. Hacked it up. What happened to the sound? Bad karma. These are really old comments, aren't they? Because we've sorted this now. Scott and some of my beard is the COVID bit. 40 years since the last one. Joao is talking to himself as well, which is great. Final man cave, Nubian, it can't be the last one unless everything works perfectly. Okay, so I just have to keep coming back. Life is passing me by once again. Joao, good evening to you.
Boa noite, geezers. Come on, England.
He's coming home, Joao.
Coming home, mate.
Jason Hall is here as well. Someone else who might want to join us on the screen. Barnacles, you might want to. Oh, Philomena might come and join us and lead a sing-song. Estão todos muito lindos. Will, you're looking great. Special message for Will from Philomena. How lovely. Fiona and Simon are here. Olá, amigos. Boa noite. Will there be cameos from some of our past esteemed guests? Where is Frank? Good question. He said he would turn up for a little bit of it, which is great. John Drury is here. Boa noite, gents. That's great. Carlos Rodriguez. Guerra. Hey, hello. Is this where the bell ends? I guess Nigel Henry, I cannot believe I enjoyed last week, and it's going to finish. Nothing personal, Nigel. Emily Shad, I'm here in Richmond, Virginia. And finally, for now, she is saying hello. So hello to you, Emily. And so anything we want to talk about, any ground we must cover, gentlemen? Anything you want to say?
Yes. Why do so many people watch the man cave? Why do so many women watch the man cave?
Okay.
We never get answered.
Okay, so why do so many women watch the man cave?
I don't know. Why do so many women watch the man cave?
Definitely not my looks.
All right, let's take a little trip down memory lane. Let's see how many of these you remember. Let me see. What do I have to do here? So I press that like that, and I press play like that, and I share it. Guess that should be. It should be as simple as that.
Memory lane.
It's flashing. There we go. Okay, Harry there. It should bring back a few memories because some of us haven't got very good memories anymore. Don't think we did that one. That was just a placeholder. Remember that?
Yeah.
We've done some.
Yeah.
Oh, that shouldn't be there. That's my Russian voiceover thing. Ignore that one. So that was one, wasn't it? When Doug showed us his old motors. Battle of the Beers. Who won that in the end?
Superboy.
Feel free to talk over this.
Yeah, my ugly face there.
There's some better ones of you coming, Joel, don't worry.
Yeah,
like
I
that
know.
one.
Oh, fantastic.
There he is again.
That definitely.
Wow. Definitely.
Have you got to see
The expats call it what it is.
They're coming late for you.
Do you remember that? Biden and Zuckerberg and DiCaprio. So many happy memories. When there were just two of us.
And the missing in action one.
Missing in action, missing in Algarve. Dead body on the balcony. I don't know what that's doing in there.
I think that is Frank.
And that's how it started out. Look at him there, bless him.
Yeah, the spoiler report didn't last long.
It didn't, did it? And then these shouldn't be on there either, but those are nice memories as well.
Far be from timber.
Isn't that amazing? So it started off as a sports report, and that was with Calvin Avery, who was with us for a few weeks, and then Frank took that over, and the sport thing didn't really work, and then it became sort of more man cavey, and then your place became the spiritual home, Gary, didn't it, in Alviagra there? And then it settled into a kind of virtual local pub for the pandemic times. And we dared to take on serious topics, I think, and be very frivolous at the same time. Anybody got any memories or top notes, bottom notes, anything else, anything you want to dredge up or recall proudly from this process?
I think the one that sticks in my mind is the Scotch woman that came on and did the Jimmy Cranky thing or whatever it was, which was highly surreal. I thought I did think she was a puppet for a while. I must admit, I thought she was a puppet. And that just
on Jeff's lap.
Yeah. I thought, what's going on here?
Yes, because that was certainly one of two musical performances I can remember. Because Anna Pinto came on with John as well, and she sang for us, didn't she?
Yeah,
and she really rocked it with her guitar. That was amazing that night. So obviously lots of stunning memories for everybody.
Well, I did do my best there.
I remember watching Battle of the Beers while drinking whiskey. And I had a 2-day angle after watching that.
Sorry, who was that? I couldn't. Your sound. Was that you, Lee? Because your sound isn't brilliant. Oh, do you remember these? The dance parties. We used to roll back the carpet into the session. We had 2 or 3 discos, didn't we?
It was great.
Okay. This is an answer to your question, Gary. Love hanging out with the guys. How is insightful and always fun. And I have a lot in common with them, having worked with the military and love aviation and cars, etc., etc. Yeah, that really helped, didn't it? I do like girly stuff too, so Victoria. Matt Nubianet, who's been here for quite a few evenings as well. Who's that echo in there? The man cave is while I'm awake, and I've been one of the girls who hangs out with the guys and everyone. My first and your last man cave story of my life is late for the party again. I've got to find out who's echoing like that.
It isn't me.
1 2 1 2. I think it might be you, Lee. So I'll unmute you when you want to speak. Yeah, I think that's your blower there, Lee. So gesticulate wildly when you want to speak there, fella. The dance
put the house on fire.
Where do you fellas stand on the topic of barnacle consumption? So would anyone care to answer that? These are rather phallic. Yes, go on.
Wait, is that a serious question?
I think it is. Yeah. I mean, do you know the particular barnacle that's being spoken about?
Well, barnacles are tiny. How could you possibly eat them?
I've never knowingly consumed a barnacle.
Yeah,
Can I
there's
say
almost.
ciao, ciao.
Oh, who's that?
Yeah. She's just here to say goodbye.
Bye, bye.
Oh, see ya. Thank you for when you popped into the man cave from time to time.
It's happening again.
Yeah. I'm going to find you a picture of goose barnacles. That's what's being referred to here. Lauren, yes.
I will leave at that point.
I'm just wondering why you're winding up your evening programs. Have I missed something? Thanks for the memories, Maxine. Yeah, well, for me, yes, I have a young family, and the man cave has proved to be a little bit incompatible with that, because sometimes I've been staying up till 2 a.m, and after, when we've gone on till 1 or 1:30, I can't go straight to sleep after that. So it's been an amazing run. And the other part of it, which actually turns out to be untrue, I think, is that it was meant to be a sort of pandemic thing because people couldn't go out. But actually, we might be returning back to lockdown, which may be a subject that you want to talk about tonight. I mean, this does seem dreadful. David, good evening to you. Dave's here.
Hello.
Yeah, gooseneck barnacles. I'm going to find you a picture. Would you eat one of these if I can find some nice pictures of them? Yeah, so is that what everyone's thinking, feeling that we are returning to lockdown again, the original kind of situation whereby we created this?
Don't see how they can. I really don't see how they can.
Not here.
Not in the States.
I don't think so, because the overall community's resilience has to do with people who are vaccinated and also people who have gotten infected. And a lot of people have gotten infected, more people than we know about. So the cases are rising, but they're nothing like, well, I don't know. I guess Portugal is pretty bad, but they're not as bad as they were previously. And I think you guys were really bad in February or March. But people are not dying nearly as often. And so that's the other really important statistic. So I think it's just
country. I don't think that people will put up with another lockdown, because we've had enough, and I'm sure David can echo that sentiment.
If people are dying everywhere, then of course we'll lock down. I mean, I know that they're going to have to come up with a better reason than what we've just been through, though. I think.
Well, I think it's still going to happen sometime September, October. I think so. Anyway, I think it's not over yet.
I think the vaccinations, the vaccination programs, they're uneven. The coverage is uneven. Some countries have done fantastically well. Some have not done so well, but are catching up. I mean, Portugal today did 150,000 vaccines. That's the equivalent of 900,000 in a day in the UK. Yeah. So as countries actually get their act together and start to get the coverage that they need, then we're going to see the death rate dropping. And David's right. At the end of the day, the only real statistic that you can that isn't politically
loaded.
Really can't be easily manipulated by the politicians. It is the death rate and the ICU occupancy, and those haven't got anywhere near the sorts of rates that justify another lockdown.
Yeah, because the vaccination rate is, in Portugal, I think it's close to 40%, but it's much higher for people who are vulnerable. So the kind of people who would get sick and go to the hospital and possibly die, that's up like 60. I think it's 60 to 70%, and that's what really matters.
Also, you got to have a go now. This is his field, so let my man have a go again.
Andy, when I was talking to my lawyer and the detective and the translator in that room one day, they said that Portugal had gone with a strategy of vaccinating the busybodies, the nodes of transmission. Is that right? Because that would have made a huge difference compared to trying to go just from top down.
Well, we didn't really. I mean, we vaccinated the front line just like the UK did, and then we worked top down. So, I don't really think we've done anything differently, except we did it a lot slower.
Oh, look, Frank.
The second thing would be then, back in March, Natasha Dunn reported that up to 40% of the doctors were using ivermectin for themselves and for patients. And that was back in March. So that number could be much higher by now. So you'll still see infection. And I would explain continuously low death rates. It's just not been spoken about.
With things like Wembley holding, 60,000 people, I think really the time for another lockdown is pretty much finished in the UK. I don't know about Europe.
Yeah.
But I'm sure after, if we especially win on Sunday, lockdown's going to be a thing of the past.
Yeah.
There's Frank.
Really.
Where's he been?
I'm not convinced, Andrew.
I can only get 10
people like you think they'll behave themselves after another lockdown. That's it.
Yeah. Well,
Look at what the devil drug did.
Frank has a new suntan.
Yes, let's have a look at that.
That is from
looking good, Mr. Frank.
Frank, did you get a flashback on the barbecue?
Pardon?
Did you get a flashback
He's on another round to get me Wi-Fi.
Hey, it's called the suntan. It's called being healthy.
Horn! Look, this is what happens. Frank comes on the screen and gets the horn straight away. So what's next for everyone? What will you be doing with your Friday night? Victoria's trying to change the subject. Look, Frank, can I ring you up so we can get Eric back?
Upstairs a bit. That's outside. It's too loud.
All right.
Mute the mic.
Lee off for a bit. Okay. Let's bring Eric back on a minute and bring Lee. Well, I'll have to swap people around from time to time, all right? But there you go.
Victoria, we're still going to be on the revamped man cave. I understand. Andrew has something to say about that.
Go on then, Andrew. Over to you.
Well, as I'm in Portugal and currently twiddling my thumbs, I did actually volunteer to host a continuance of the man cave in some small slice of its former glory, and I'm going to get StreamYard, which is what you use, Carl, and we're going to put it through my YouTube channel. If anyone is keen, I'll just take public opinion, really.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. I think, to be fair, we've just had my stepkids and grandkids around, and they left about 9:45. So I'm quite actually looking forward to a Friday night sat down with a beer. my ear holes are recovering. I've still got ringing in my ears from screaming. How loud kids' screams can be.
Yeah. Good. Excellent.
But yeah, if you guys are keen, I volunteered to do this, but it won't, as Carl said, it won't be like official expats Portugal. But it'll be on the same time for the same kind of time slot.
Awesome! It's a permanent after party.
I'm in.
It depends how boozy it gets. If it gets boozy, we might go until 2 or 3. But
excellent. So there's a lot of support, Andrew, for that. Look, yes, please, Andrew.
Cool.
Yes, Andrew.
In the spirit of the man cave, I'll do a lap with a torch, and then maybe I'll pass it on to someone else. So,
all right.
Yeah, virus is boring, says Victoria there.
Yeah, but we cannot. For example, I took the vaccination prior to my parents taking the second one. I took my first one. So yeah, things are a little bit wonky according to town to town.
Well, we shall see, won't we? I mean, I certainly don't want to have a test to go into a bloody restaurant.
No, I don't have any more vaccines to take, at least as far as I know, because I already taken the second one last week.
Yeah.
Do you guys know the latest?
Pfizer are applying for their license for a booster now.
Yeah. Andy, do you know the latest conspiracy on the vaccine? The big breaking one over the last few days?
Go on.
It turns out they're all full of graphene oxide nanoparticles. They're magnetic.
And of course they are. Of course they are.
We're in the middle of that panic right now. I'm getting lots of going on. It's like,
We'll be able to be our own micro generator and Wi-Fi hotspot soon.
Stay away from the micro until we figure this out.
Let me see if I have some. No.
Joel, keys are made from brass. Keys are made from brass. But not magnetic.
And you need a kind of control group as well. We need to know that didn't happen before you had the vaccine. And how are we going to know?
It didn't happen because I didn't have any magnetism with me from this.
You say that. In the UK,
I may have weird joints, but that's about it.
Wow.
A third jab to include the flu. That's very clever. I'm looking forward to being a hotspot. Says Joel is amazing, and I think I would like to second that idea that Joel is amazing. Yeah, you are, and you've been a stalwart of the man cave, Joel. So big shout out to you and big respect to you for being who you are and being here.
Parabéns as well.
Yes, there he is. The Joel. Social and geopolitical drama being played out on the world stage by downright spoiled and greedy, obnoxious Etonians. Yes, freedom and liberty under threat from right-wing nationalism, fascists, xenophobics are everyone on the rise. Big changes are afoot. Sea of people fleeing tribal unethics. We are heading for a Bronze Age collapse scenario. There's a cheerful thought for the last man cave.
If scientists stop inventing diseases so they can make up cures, that would be wonderful.
We're going back to the.
And that is what I have to say regarding this pandemic and everything else. If scientists stop inventing diseases so they can make up cures, none of this would have happened.
Well, okay, so I don't know. This is going to get a little doom and gloomy, but I don't think I agree with you in one sense that corporations, especially the food industry and the pharmaceutical industry, they absolutely are causing problems for people and then fixing them. So they make money on both sides of it. They're feeding us garbage and then selling us drugs to deal with the side effects of it.
That's gone on for years though. It's called solution selling, isn't it? It's like viruses for computers. If you write the virus, you can write the code for it, can't you? You can write the fix for it.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah, similar thing.
Oh yeah.
But that's a little bit downtrodden. We should talk about Frank's tan more. Is it fake? Is it real or fake?
It was shoved into a traditional cooker. So he came out on time before losing skin.
Did you spray it on, or is it actual sunshine?
This has got nothing to do with the spray, my friends. I'm not a chick magnet like Joel, but you know it's got nothing to do with the spray. Is that Will I'm seeing with in Al Viagra?
It's Frank. Nice to meet you finally.
Nice to see you, buddy. How you doing?
I'm good.
What are you doing with the devil to the left of you?
I was just driving around the country and I knocked on the door and he was here.
And you actually opened the door this one?
I just kind of let myself in.
Very nice. Very nice.
My door's always open. Always open.
Yeah, it was Owen and Jenny's birthday.
Beautiful.
And I was only about an hour away, so I said, yeah, why not? Head north.
Very
lovely.
Nice. Very
I'm
nice.
all cleaned up. I've had a shower and a shave, put some nice clothes on. Feeling human again.
That's nice. You're looking very becoming, and so does Garbo. It's nice to see Garbo today.
Thank you, Frank. Even though I took the piss out.
Yeah, at least we know you're alive. Yeah.
So
I'm sorry. What did you say, Joel? What am I, Trump change? Is that what
you
you
are
said?
still alive for now.
Is there some type of sporting event happening soon?
Kids
Yeah, before we do that, Frank, being that you're on and you were the founder of the sports show on the Man Cave, I just want to touch on the Stanley Cup playoffs, which just ended, in which Montreal lost to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Do you have a few words to say about that?
Well, nothing. My team, my previous team, Toronto Maple Leafs, lost to Montreal Canadiens. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm all good with Canadians not winning another trophy. But other than that, no. You know what? I have not seen almost a single hockey match since the time I've arrived in Portugal. The timing is so different because the thing is hockey game starts at 7:00 Eastern in Canada, and over here you've got 10:30 the game starts. I haven't seen a single hockey game.
Well, thank you very much for the sports report, Frank.
You're welcome, man. We had a very, very good time. This one when Carlo and I set it up, it was meant to be a lot of fun, and I'm glad a lot of people had a lot of fun out of it. I'm seeing some old faces, some new faces. This is amazing to see. Where is Carl? Where is Carl, by the way? He keeps on disappearing.
He said there was too many of us, so he's going to echo the background. Yeah.
Make way for others.
Getting us used to him not being here, maybe.
Well, it's giving you a trial run and take it away. That's what it is. It's giving you space to operate.
Yeah, no. That'll be Andrew, right? Andrew is taking the helm, right? Andrew, is that you?
Yeah. Right, again. Again, I didn't want to kind of steal the limelight from Cole's final.
I'm not really fun of looking.
What the hell is that?
Oh, they're the cockles or something.
Barnacle
Yeah,
geese.
that is something that Portuguese
Olympics.
It looks like it's something from that movie Alien. What the hell is that?
You can actually find them.
Goose barnacles. All right.
Yoga.
Those are complete proteins.
I ate raw mussels the other day, and they were lovely.
Yeah, that's what the porn star said. I do it for the protein.
Yeah, I was thinking of protein. I needed it.
It's not wrong.
Weeks. So yeah, I need some zinc. So I tried it. Absolutely fine.
Did you enjoy it, Will?
Yeah, I did. I don't eat a lot of meat, but I was like, I need to eat some protein or I'm going to die. So yeah.
I was kind of getting concerned about you, Will, a few times. But the thing is, I'm so glad you're doing well, and I'm so glad that you're up and about. Your work and the stuff that you put up is very, very helpful, man. I'm very, very thankful to you. You do a lot of very good work.
Okay. Yeah, I was getting a bit close to the edge there, but Cross had come up, and this is sort of me detoxing and getting healthy. And so.
Is the man right next to you? Did he make you a steak or anything? Oh no, you're a vegetarian now.
Oh, Linda's been making lovely food.
Oh,
no,
okay. Linda's a rock star. It's the guy who's right next to you that I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm an asshole. I really am.
I'm not vegetarian. I'm like 95% vegetarian. So I try and avoid it, but I will eat some now and again. And I'm not going to kick up a fuss about it, Just when I say deep,
what about
going it down and then.
What about eggs? Do you eat eggs?
Yeah, love eggs, love cheese, cheddar cheese.
You're all set. Yeah, you don't need to eat meat if you got eggs.
Meat, really?
Well, theoretically, not theoretically. I don't know what I'm going to say. But even though I think that eggs, when they are not fertilized, they can be considered not animal.
Yeah, but some people do class that. Any animal products count. It's like, for me, it's not about that. It's about sort of consumption levels on a global scale. Really?
Yeah, no, cheese and eggs, and I think you're all set on your essential amino acids. Talk to a dietitian, of course. Don't take my word for it, but I think you're pretty good.
I've looked into it, and beer seems to work. No, I miss out on the proteins a lot because I don't eat all the pulses, the beans, and so on. So I think it's important for me to get. If I don't have some meat, then I start to get B12 deficiency, and I start to get weaker and weaker and weaker. So I do need to have nibbles, but it doesn't have to be a lot, just now and again.
So guys, I just wanted to come on and say hello to you. I've actually got guests at home. Wanted to come by and say hello to you guys. It's been such a pleasure hanging out with you guys almost every other Friday. All of us will stay in contact somehow. I'm quite sure of it. Enjoy the rest of the show, but it's been such an amazing pleasure. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Frank.
Thanks, Frank.
How lovely was that? Missing in the Algarve.
He went back to the forest somewhere in Southeast Asia, looking for missing in action.
So you don't think he's in the Algarve at all? He's actually somewhere in.
No, I'm making that up. Algarve also has a few corners with hoods.
He's a legend. The man is a legend, and I can't wait until he announces the news of his whatever it's going to be. There are a lot of rumors, some sort of hostelry, I suspect, in the Algarve, which is going to be awesome.
Oh, he's moving from Coimbra to Algarve.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I don't know. It's all rumor at the moment. But won't that be a wonderful reunion? If we could all make it to Frank's new place in the Algarve, if that's what happens there, that will be pretty extraordinary.
Is it all rumours that you started, Carl?
Yeah, I started it. Yeah. Yes. Have you got a packet of wine gums there, Joel?
Correct.
Look at that. Wine gums. We have to mute you up if you keep sucking, big fella. So hold on a minute. Ubiuminum says, my sanctimonious vegan kid has ruled that barnacles are permissible. Okay. So they're like a sea plant rather than a fish, I guess. But what's more interesting to me in that comment is the idea of having a sanctimonious vegan kid. Because it's one thing, isn't it, to have a sultry teenager, sulky teenager. I mean, not sultry, sultry teenager. Sulky teenager is what I meant to say. But the modern version, is that a sanctimonious vegan kid? I mean, that would be really difficult, wouldn't it, to live that kind of life and have that going on all the time, constantly questioning your dietary ethics. That's a lot of pressure.
I think I'd rather have a teenager.
Me decided that she was a vegetarian, and then basically balked at my sister to give up meat as well. And now, years later, she's a full-on carnivore.
Yeah. It happens, doesn't it?
She's just meat, or?
Oh no, I mean,
that's the carnivore diet. People who eat just meat. That's it. That's
Jordan
a real
Peterson,
thing,
right? Jordan Peterson.
No, maybe, I don't know. He has an autoimmune deficiency he's talked about, so there's all kinds of reasons to change your diet.
I thought he just ate beef and that was about it.
Joe Rogan, your competitor.
Okay. I don't talk about it.
Okay, sorry.
Joe Rogan is no competition for Carl Munson. I'll tell you that right
now. Joe Rogan needs some R&R on the psychiatric ward.
Wow.
Some corner.
Would you say that to his face? I wouldn't.
No, he's got a deadly roundhouse kick. I wouldn't do that.
That's right.
I don't have any issues with that. I would say him to his face. You need to go to a psychiatric ward. Stay there for at least 6 months.
now. I'm not going to show up in Portugal anytime soon, so I don't think Joel has to worry.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. I think Joel's taking full advantage of that fact. Yes, it is redundant. What's that? I love it when this happens. What is that the answer to?
I don't know.
Not the appendix, because I was put right on that the other day. I said
I
the
don't have
appendix.
any.
Did you?
Mine
You
was
haven't got an
cut
appendix?
off. No.
Which? The appendix.
Appendix.
Yeah. So, have you suffered at all from not having an appendix? Where do all the apple seeds and the chewing gum end up?
Down the toilet where they should be.
Yeah.
I got a question. How many of you guys have had a nurse check you for appendicitis?
No. Where can we get that done?
It's a lot of fun.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
No, they kind of have to do a little checking.
See, that sounds like fun.
I was in pain.
Not fun.
As I recall, I was about 15 years old. I was in pain with appendicitis. And the thing was, I started with pains at 8 a.m. and I was in the hospital after that for 2 weeks.
I had a nurse pull out a catheter once.
Her own or yours?
Oh, wow.
It was mine. Yeah.
Right, good time.
That is not fun. That hurts hurts really bad.
Like pulling tube out of a urethra, isn't it?
You think that they've figured out some way to, with technology, modern technology, can you not have to like yank the thing out of my penis?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But nope, that's what they do.
They'd struggle to push it all the way in.
Yeah, give me some time to get it ready for you.
Yeah, and that's what's on my mind actually, and that's the indelicate question I want to put to you. Presumably, the process, the passage of a catheter, is directly related to the state of readiness of the male member.
So I had surgery. I was not awake when they put the thing in. I was only awake for the removal.
Yeah,
and
that wasn't the recollection of my father, because he also had a prostate operation, and the catheter went straight as he was awakened, so going in and coming out. And according to him, it was a very, very fucking hurtful experience.
Yeah. That sucks.
Yes.
Andrew, are you keeping up on this as far as the topics that we want to cover in future man caves?
Well, I was just I muted myself for a second because my big wife, Mrs., is next to me, and she could probably tell you a thing or two about catheters. What she always says is, what you need is the touch of a midwife.
Yes, I would
agree. David Dawson is saying that a traditional catheter is the devil. When someone is in obstruction, you have no option. You have to use a traditional catheter.
Yes. Yeah, there you go, David Dawson. And that was a story I didn't tell last week, which I feel like I should tell this week.
Catheter like a condom, and they're useful.
Right. Oh, the Texas catheter.
Sorry?
That's a bit different. Oh, okay, the Texas. Yeah. So everything is bigger there, I guess.
Since we are talking a little bit about medicine, I am actually curious about Soviet medicine, because they have eye transplants and everything else, and I don't see those being performed in European or even developed countries like America and everything else.
They have high what?
They do eye transplants.
Oh, eye transplants.
Yeah, I'm curious about the knowledge of Russian health system and operations and everything else compared to ours.
Doc? Doc just takes a big drink. I'll get ready for this one.
The problem is we still don't really know the extent of Russian research before the end of the Cold War. So there was a huge amount of very interesting research that they were conducting on all sorts of things, including Kirlian photography to identify the aura, And so, but there is very, very advanced Russian medical technology. There's no doubt, but I can't tell you whether or not they've conducted accessible eye transplants. I don't know. No idea.
Didn't they transplant the head of a monkey?
Propaganda.
Was that Andrew?
So I'm sure the Russians transplanted the head of a monkey from one monkey to another.
Yeah, I think they did that. It was even advertised. I think it was in the late 80s, early 90s, if I'm not mistaken. They had performed a head.
But it's one thing to transplant the head of something. But it's entirely another thing to get the wiring right and not have a totally paralyzed monkey on the other end.
Yeah.
No, I think it's just right away.
Link up the plumbing.
It didn't do any
the nerves up the problem.
Yeah.
But you also have to believe what's coming out of the Russian story, per se. You know what I'm saying? It's the same as the Chinese. It's the same as the Chinese. You believe what you want to believe.
I heard the Russian.
Eric. I mean, sorry, David.
I was just gonna say I heard the. You could talk about this.
I would say it's every.
I was gonna say their vaccine was okay, wasn't it? The Russian vaccine. It's still not approved in the EU, but I think it did okay. We lost Doc.
I think he's got a big delay on him on his feed there. No, or is he frozen? Let's have a quick look at the doc.
I think it's frozen.
Yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. It looks like a 1980s rave party picture, doesn't it? Oh,
But it was sick.
That's one to treasure. That's one to treasure. Looks very youthful.
Yeah.
And we
could see a couple of times we had thought he had dozed off, but meanwhile he just froze.
Let's compare and contrast. Oh no, he's gone. No, it's just me instead now. Whoops. Oh no, he's back now. I think.
You got to save him that picture.
I didn't hear that, David. Sorry.
It's all right.
I know. I was saying the Russian vaccine did pretty good, right?
Yeah, and the interesting thing is, I was talking to someone who is quite, well, I won't say central, but very involved in frontline vaccine research in the UK. And I asked them specifically, I said, what, is being researched alongside all the rest of this research?
Get down, Shep.
Is it
Andy's frozen again.
Turned into a dead.
Hold on. So they're researching combination. They're researching combinations of vaccines, and I said, so is Sputnik being included in this research? And I got a very strange look, and they said no. And I said, so is that a political decision or a clinical decision? Totally blanked. Completely blanked.
Yep.
Yeah, because, well, it's Russia, and Russia will try to kill us all.
Well,
of course.
So they might not be as transparent with their data. And so they might have data standards that Russia can't meet.
I thought it was the Chinese that were trying to kill us.
So the Chinese vaccines did not do as well, right? So
yeah,
but
the Chinese first did it right.
No,
but it does if the Russian vaccine has done well, and actually, I think there's a lot of politics slowing up approval at the EMEA.
Yeah, but they didn't roll it out very well in their own country though, and they were still shipping it to other countries for political reasons.
Well, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they have to be in the good places of the world.
You got to keep international support, right? And for a government thinks nothing about murdering its high status opponents. Obviously, they're not going to be too worried about making sure they protect their population first if they can gain some international status by shipping it to poorer countries.
Eric, you're muted.
You're right, but I think we've all done it. We've all
Eric,
done it.
you were muted, or I didn't hear you, Eric.
Sorry, we had no problem in the United States shipping out the AstraZeneca to the rest of the world. We kept the Moderna and the Pfizer for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, at the moment, I think Brazil could do. Brazil could do with a lot of help.
In the United States, hijacking the plane that had vaccines that were to come to Spain. So yeah.
Come on, USA, help Brazil.
I guess I missed that story.
Yeah. India, I think India just passed the U.S. for the total number of deaths. I'm not positive on that, but I think India is really struggling still.
Well, Brazil is coming up to 600, isn't it?
Oh, are they?
Something like that.
We've not heard much from Mr. McGrady tonight. Lee, you've been very quiet, uncharacteristically so. Everything okay there, south of the water?
Confused. I'm confused. When you've got a catheter in, it goes into the penis.
Yeah, it goes right in the penis hole.
Yep.
I'll go wank.
And then they pump up a little balloon in there so it won't come out.
Well, what do you got wanking?
If you want to wank, you have to ask the nurse. Tell him you want to wank and get it.
There's no wanking.
That's why you sign up for Peter.
That will be the last thing you're thinking about. Trust me.
What's the point in life? We've got a vegetarian talk about not eating bacon and someone that can't have a wank. It seems like the end of the world. It's a nightmare.
We waited.
You might as well get COVID, mate.
I'm just checking the numbers here, and India's still just behind USA. But we know that India massively underreported a lot by a factor of 6 to 10, I think.
Yeah, of
course.
No, well, there's fucking millions of them. Don't worry about it.
There's a billion of them.
1.3 billion of them. We've got like 4 times the population of the States.
Yeah.
I mean, all this is all well and good, but when you talk about reporting, is you're relying on the data you're given as official figures, but really, how accurate are they? I'd love to know what the actual...
So they use statistics and antibodies tests to try to get a better figure. So, some people don't even know they got COVID. They had no symptoms.
Yeah,
they were asymptomatic and it cleared out and they had no idea. So the only way to know if they were infected is to test for antibodies, and so then they use statistical analysis to try to figure out how many people got infected. Some estimates are it's double the number of people, or the official statistics. It could be double that, which means that the immunity is much higher than we think it is.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you could have had COVID, no tests, and then nothing was reported until, or you could have had a car crash, but also had COVID and been reported as a COVID death. The thing with data is it's really easy.
I don't believe a word of that. I don't believe people with car crashes, they were then testing them to see if they had COVID so they could put them in the figures. They have far better things to worry about in hospitals.
Was that a case that someone fell down their loft ladder and died, but because they had COVID, that was reported as a COVID death?
Well, so you could look at the death report, and then you could look at the person who's reporting the statistics, and those are two different things, right? So the interpretation, if somebody's looking to inflate the numbers, they can do that. But I don't think that there are many coroners or doctors in the world that are trying to inflate the statistics. They're just trying to do their job.
Yeah, no.
That's why I figured Myers figure.
Not a medical profession. I'm speaking at maybe governmental levels. Or even
if you're trying to manipulate the stats, you can do it for sure.
But then again, also the tests were not 100% accurate. If you were to take, for example, the test for COVID today, and 2 hours later you would obtain 2 different results, even if you were in isolation.
Well, let's say, how about this? Let's say you had COVID, you were sick, but then you had a heart attack. Is that a COVID-related death?
No, I think it is related to.
Is that reported?
But it might be. It might be.
It could be, yeah.
Hold on, because the COVID could have stressed your cardiovascular system enough to cause the heart attack. So there are, I'm one of these who's keen to label every death a COVID death, but there are mechanisms. You have to be a little more.
It's not cut and dry.
Either way, than accepting what people are saying.
Doc, when I get to Portugal, can I come and fix your internet for you? I can do it. Trust me.
This is actually quite often. This normally it's good, and this is Vodafone's fibre, to the wall. So I don't know.
Well, you have fiber optic, so it's just replace your wireless. Are you wireless?
Yeah.
On your laptop. Yeah, just replace your wireless router. Spend about
I'm wireless
300 euros on a good one.
It's all that porn is downloaded.
Oh, catheter porn, no doubt.
I think it's my stepdaughter.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
I think my stepdaughter's there on her Xbox in the bedroom. That's the problem.
No, that isn't suffice to cut the Wi-Fi. I have more than one. Appliance, mobile phone, computer, and everything else, and I don't have that issue. It could be, for example.
I have a mesh. I have 3 access points on a mesh system in a 120 meters squared apartment. This should not be a problem, David. I do know what I'm doing, but I really don't understand why this has got worse recently. I don't know what it is, honestly.
It can be not having a strong signal.
Maybe you got too much mesh.
Yeah. Get one of these, and your problems will be solved.
Oh, forget that. No, David, serious point, David. Should I remove one of the mesh access points?
So I have a huge house, and I'm in a city, so there's a lot of interference from my neighbors and stuff. I just have one really good router, and it covers my whole house, 3 stories out to the garage. I don't have any mesh. If you get a good router, you're going to be all good.
Just check what channel your router's running on. I changed the channel on mine the other day, and it's far better because everyone else around me is running Virgin Media as well, and they're all running on the same channel, same frequency.
I get that. Sure, good idea.
Fine, gents, I've got something called Parcel PowerLink, and you plug it into the wall, and it runs data through the wires of the house.
I used to have
a wide connection. Through the wires in the house, and that's what this computer's running now. And the router's a couple of rooms away. As you know, all these apartments in Lisbon are or in situ cast concrete with steel. It's like a big Faraday cage. So I got this to boost signal to the office because it's Wi-Fi and it's got an Ethernet port, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, I used that in Madeira, Andrew, and it works perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Somebody's messing up the connection.
The problem is I'm on a Chromebook. It has no Ethernet port. I need to get a decent way on my desktop. That's what I need to do.
I use this as an extender on my living room just to make some coverage to my bathroom.
You don't want to be sitting on that, do you? What is that?
Why do you need internet in the bathroom?
Back over to Lee's one.
You had to go and buy something for it.
Because when I am in the bathroom, I have the tendency to look at the news on a mobile phone.
It's when he's having his bath with his scented candles and everything.
It's Angry Bird on the pot, isn't it? It's like...
This is a new subject for the man cave. Why have internet in the bathroom?
I will do a transmission from a bathroom, and you feel lucky you don't have smell-o-vision.
Charming. Okay. You remember when we talked about this? Look, Pete's bringing up a memory. Who cares about the virus and poignant moments? Victoria's looking for some poignant moments. It tends to be a second-hour thing, for sure, or a third-hour thing. But Pete's suggesting everyone gets drunk and compare waxing routines. We did talk about this. Oh, hello, dog. We did talk about waxing, didn't we? And manscaping and all that sort of stuff. Any updates on that? I mean, I'm looking at you, Lee, for example. You're an organic kind of guy, aren't you? I mean, you'll use what's that stuff called if you need to really get rid of some serious weeds. But presumably, you just let your body hair do its thing like a proper geezer.
What are you looking at me for? I barely shave my face. I'm not going to shave my bollocks, am I?
Exactly. Okay. Just checking.
No.
Just checking. Right. No manscaping there. The only landscaping is in people's gardens that Lee will be doing. David, can I put you on the spot as a younger chap here? Do you feel any pressure to manscape? Given these, you do.
I'm married. Yeah, I can't just let everything go crazy. I gotta take care of business.
Well, that's interesting because I'm married as well, but I don't feel that pressure. It's a new generation thing, isn't it?
I don't know. Maybe there's something genetic going on. Is it pretty good down there without any, too much trimming, or does it get out of control and you just don't care?
It's fine. I don't think it's okay.
Yeah, I mean,
it grows that length, and that's it. The more you trim, the more thick and bigger it will grow.
That's what women have to face, isn't it?
You've got data on this, Doc? Does he have any data on this?
Stop trimming for a year and see how long it gets.
Yeah. Well, no, you do what you have to do in this day and age.
For divorce in 3 months.
No,
if you trim all the time, she will be filing a divorce in 3 months. So keep on trimming.
Can we?
Eric, you muted again.
Look at this. Pete has already had a few, I think, with that.
No, easy. No, I said after 24 years, it is what it is.
I volunteer as a red shirt. I don't have any issues.
That's great, Jason. You could have used one of your tractor attachments there. He's got a Lamborghini tractor, I believe, which is a fantastic thing, isn't it? A fantastic hybrid combo. A continental idea. You only trim the hedge if you want the path to look longer. That's okay. So that's there's a little bit of a clue there to the younger man, possibly.
Honestly, I'll confess, I manscape because if I didn't, I could plait it.
Okay, so this is definitely a younger fella thing. This is interesting. So things do change, don't they? For sure. There are things that, like Gary and I, of a similar age, would do that probably our fathers would never have done. And now it changes, doesn't it, with every generation? But I just would.
I'm the same generation as David, and I don't trim.
I would manscape, but I've run out of petrol in the trimmer.
How old are you, Joel?
43.
Oh, we're both 43. This is crazy.
Yeah, I'll be older next month.
And just remember, I'm probably the oldest guy in this room right now.
How old are you?
Eric?
He's not telling.
Eric, how?
57.
Oh, you just.
Carl's like 70, I think.
Only just.
Only just eating, Carl.
I look older than all of you.
Carl, was it your 6-0 goal this week?
Say that again.
Was it your 6-0 this week?
No, it wasn't, you cheeky bugger.
Someone said you were getting your bus pass. I don't know if it was 60.
I was 56 this week.
Sorry, 53?
56.
Oh, 56, sorry.
But a few people were wishing me a happy 53rd birthday, so I went with it anyway. And, you know, but...
I
you know,
did
when
say 39th, Carl, I have to say.
You did, thank you very much. But then when you say, was it your 60th, I do have to take an exception to that.
I got a feeling me and the doc are the oldest here then.
No, I'm 56.
Sorry?
I'm 57.
Sure, I was definitely the oldest.
I'm the fucking oldest. Can't believe it.
You look great, don't worry.
Come on down.
63, look at it.
Look at this.
Yeah.
60. You're looking
You look
good
like
for
a
60.
baby's ass.
Yeah.
Don't look at
It helped all those years.
The smoking, okay. So you recommend it to teenagers and younger people.
What was it that you're smoking, though?
Yeah, indeed. Oh, I see. Devil's lettuce.
Yes.
You recommend that?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
The magic dragon. Puff the magic dragon, so to speak.
You old hippie. New respect for Dave. I don't know what else about it. It's because of the manscaping, possibly, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I think he looks about 24, that's why.
Yeah, that's true. It's been a while. Carl, just for your information, Lamborghini tractors predate Lamborghini sports cars. I didn't know that, but it's such an awesome thing to say you've got a Lamborghini.
Yeah, so what he's saying is that Lamborghini actually began as a tractor manufacturer, not a sports car manufacturer.
I understand. I may be 56 and getting on a bit, but I understood that, Joel.
You need some memory pills.
What are we thinking about?
You have to speak slower for Carl now or something then.
Speak up, young man.
The Lamborghini.
Oh, Lamborghini, yes.
I used to make tractors, okay?
Yeah, back in my day, they used to make tractors.
You can just picture it, can't you? Everyone's really bored on the farmyard. It's a quiet time of year. They get their Lamborghini tractors out. They start racing up and down the fields. And some bright spark says, I think we can make this go faster.
Yes. That's right.
You'll be surprised how fast tractors can go.
It's quite a good chat-up line as well. Do you want to come back to my, what would you say, come back to my estate and see my Lamborghini? And somebody would have an entirely different idea of what that could mean. And you've taken back to the Kingtown, there's an old Lamborghini tractor there. Result.
Yeah, it still is Lamborghini.
You might as well say we're miles from anywhere. Is the death rate? Hold on a minute. We're going back to the virus. Higher than typical. Subtract the normal from the normal death rate. COVID is some percentage. I don't know if you want to care to address that, Doc.
Well, interestingly, in the UK, the current death rate is lower than the average for the last 5 years. But people are definitely dying of COVID. So it's not the whole story, but certainly the increase above the norm over the last 5 years is probably 95% COVID, if not more. But it is interesting. Death rate is lower.
Wasn't like the winter of 19 to 20, the first 20 to 21, the first lockdown winter, there was actually fewer deaths that winter compared to normal flu time.
Yeah, well, you know, if you lock everyone down, you get a lot less car accidents for a start.
Yeah. And Andy, can I ask you about this?
Yeah.
Do you know how North England lump flu and pneumonia together in the statistics?
Yeah, I know.
To this day, everyone's confused because they say, 10,000 people died of flu and pneumonia. But it's like 10,000 people died of bacterial pneumonia. That's normal.
Yeah.
No one died. Go check the report. No one's died of flu. Like saying, yeah.
You're right. 100%. Of course, though, some of those bacterial pneumonia are secondary to severe influenza infection.
Yeah. Oh, well, no, they've not actually detected in sequencing any flu. 2 cases in 3-4 weeks. That's it.
No, that's true enough. But some of them will, even though they haven't detected it, as you well know, that doesn't happen. And the clinicians on the ground see it happen all the time.
But they think that A might have disappeared altogether and there's almost no B at all. And given it's middle of summer,
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just wish they'd separate the data. It's almost like they put the data together on purpose to confuse people. Because the first round they're like, "Oh my gosh, flu's coming, get you back." Yeah.
They wouldn't do that, would they?
They do. And then the conspiracy army go, "Oh my God, flu is here." It's not. It's not.
Yeah.
There's a difference. Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We've got a question that's come in. I don't know. Actually, before I get to that, this is worth putting up on the screen. Thanks, Pete, for this. This is true. Can I just say, in all honesty, that Garvo is one of the nicest people you could hope to meet, and Linda is equally lovely. I hope to meet a few more of you all in Portugal. But what a great start! Absolutely, here.
Thank you.
And yes, love. Absolutely. Jason, I fear mine definitely does predate the cars. He's Lambo. Fiona and Simon are still keen to talk about the virus. Russia struggling in the third wave with the crossover variant. Apparently, Lambo. And I thought we were talking about the virus again because that's the latest variant. It's called the Lambo, isn't it? Or something.
Lambda.
So confusing. Lambo built.
No. I want to make a correction to Nigel comment. What happened was that Ferruccio Lamborghini went to his friend at the time that was Enzo Ferrari, and he complained about the car that he had bought and made suggestions for Enzo Ferrari to make improvements. Right. At the end, Enzo Ferrari tell him to shut off. They become enemies. And so Ferruccio Lamborghini decided to make his own sports cars. So it began with what we know as the first truly supercar, which was the Lamborghini Miura. That was the beginning of all the cars that come after.
Andy, sounds very Italian, this bust up.
I'm going to add to that because the engineers behind the Miura had an average age of like 23. So it's a bunch of kids basically were in a workshop throwing this Miura together.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, the designer was only 22 years old.
Yeah, they're like fresh out of like university.
It wasn't even in college. It was just a regular car, a guy enthusiast, and he made the most beautiful car so far.
All right. Okay. So on to this question then, and I don't know if this is a Portuguese related thing. Sandy Enox is here and is saying, "Where can I buy a pee pump?" I don't even know what that is.
An adult shop, maybe.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. So
I don't need to use those. I'm single.
Oh, very good. Okay. All right. That's not the right way to end that sentence, is it? I don't need to use penis enlargement technology. You can leave it there, leave it hanging there, because if you say after that, because I'm single, it kind of takes away the magic of the first bit of the statement, I think.
Yeah, no, because if I were being single just is an excuse to buy a pee pump.
Okay, all right then. Yeah, and ever since you saw the Google ads coming up on my show for those, I suspect that it put the idea into your mind. A vaccine is comprised of Tamiflu, star anise suspension. Star anise, the famous Chinese seasoning is in the vaccine. I heard that MSG was, and that's why you want a second one soon after the first one. Gary's been awfully quiet tonight. Do you want to address that, Gary, or are you just nice and chill, taking it easy?
There are plenty of other interesting people on the screen to take up the time, so I'll just sit back and enjoy the show.
And leap in with an insightful remark from time to time. We know you. Look, Johnny is here. They're in Portugal, I think, or they're on their way. Boa noite to the Man Club. Where are you? Tell us where you are on your journey, Johnny. It's fantastic. No virus, organism, or animal will mutate to the point that they exhaust the host. Everyone needs to eat. That's an interesting point. But I guess it's a collective idea, isn't it, rather than an individual one, perhaps?
Yeah. So then again, they use that notion that humans can become zombies with viruses.
Actually wrong.
Doc?
That's wrong. So, of course, the idea is that viruses won't mutate to the point they exhaust the host. But actually, unsuccessful viruses will do that. And so whether or not COVID survives will depend on whether or not it destroys the human race or not. So the answer is successful viruses will not destroy the host. But we don't know that that's going to be the case for COVID. There's a happy thought, eh?
Yeah. It is an interesting. That has never entered my mind that COVID could destroy the human race as a proposition, as a premise. Not ever once. Has anyone else thought that?
I think it's highly
unlikely. I guess.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
It's highly
We are living in a. We've never had a global situation before. Like animal populations tend to be isolated regionally or geographically. So to have, we're living in a unique situation of having interconnected global one community.
Yeah, the global
Things have been wiped out before on entire islands because of a disease. So it's theoretically, it's not going to happen. No, if we started doing that, we'd probably lock down properly this time. You know, like
exactly.
20,
of course we would.
people. Like, yes, let's do it properly this time.
Yes. Ferrari were, sorry, it's a bit slow to load, using a Lamborghini clutch without asking Lamborghini and charging 4 times the price. So he said, Funky, I'm going to build better cars. A lot of people know about this story. Scott, that is so kind of you. I appreciate that. Fiona and Simon, let's see what's being said there. Lighthearted comedy from Lee says it as it is. This is what was so great about Lee's appearance last week. And I know he's building up to some more pithy wisdom. First Lambo was a 350 GTV for the Turin Motor Show in 1963. Nigel Henry knows these things. It was built in 4 months, he adds. In our house, it wasn't built in the house in Penamacor, everybody. That's the answer to a different question. So Johnny is here in Portugal. All the best to you in your new life in Portugal, Johnny. That's fantastic news to see your whole journey unfold over this last year. Beautiful. The Lament of Herpes. We've all been there.
Hermes.
Oh, sorry. Hermes. The Lament of Hermes and the Lamentations from You Are gives you a good idea of what's coming. The Lament of Hermes. I'll have to look that up later on.
Nice Freudian slip there, though, Carl.
Yes, indeed. Go on. The doc will know about the Lament of Hermes. What goes on with Hermes? And can you get a cream for it?
Oh, well, I'm not sure of that, but the was the of the Chaldees, which is where Abraham came from originally, if you believe the story. But that was down in Mesopotamia. And Fiona was posting earlier about the decisions of the Anunnaki to let humans destroy themselves because they'd outlived their usefulness.
Okay. And the Lament of Hermes?
Not sure. I'd have to read it.
Okay. Genetic mutations aren't conscious decisions. Now, that is a very interesting philosophical proposition. How do we know that for sure, Doc?
Oh, well, because we understand how the 4 base pairs in the double helix work.
Of course. Thank you. Johnny,
Watson and Crick is the reference.
I love that. Is that on Channel 5, that detective thing? Really, really good. Looking to a great Starsky on Starry Sky. A great Starry Sky. Talking of detectives on the terrace. Yeah, your night sky will be beautiful there, won't it? In Penamacor, fantastic. The Spanish flu killed 50 million. Everything we call flu now is a direct descendant of that outbreak. More communicable, less lethal. The Lament of Hermes. It's taking ages. I might need a new router as well. But why do you say router and not router, Dave?
I'll start saying router just for you.
Thank you very much. Fiona and Simon.
Is it in the States that router is what you used to clean the drains out with?
Yeah, router would be like 2 O's maybe, or 1 O and an E.
No, we Portuguese
This is like the difference between Portuguese and Brazilian Portuguese, yeah?
Well, a router is like you go to a football game and you're cheering on your team. You're a router.
That's a cheerleader.
Yeah. Well, and then you stop, do you stop off at Houters on the way home, or Hooters?
Yeah, there's 2 O's, so it's Hooters, but I don't go there because that's garbage food.
Well said. Oh, it's the food.
And because you're married.
Yeah.
But why?
No,
do you
she wouldn't care. But you know,
why do you say pecan and not pecan?
Yeah, just you know everybody's been saying it that way. So,
as in the Porsche pecan.
Yeah, but you wouldn't say penis, would you? Like you say pecan.
No, I would. I sure would.
Oh, you do say penis. Okay, fair enough.
No, I would though. I don't, but I would.
Okay, but you have to now. If you're going to say pecan, I think you have to say penis. Antibodies are on the rise. We got this, everybody. We got this. That's reassuring to know, isn't it? In Australia, router. Oh, I see. Okay, that's good to know. Useful if you're traveling Australia. Excuse me, are you a router? Oh, excellent. Fiona, tomato and tomato, of course. It is actually tomato. Yesterday, eating a perfect. Johnny, I forgot to mention this on the show this morning. But Nina got in touch with me and said how wonderful and lovely you are. You stopped off at the hot dogs shop in Castelo Branco, as you said you would. And she was delighted to meet you, and it sounded like you had a great time. So you met some of the students there. What? And bed? You met the students and bed and then a drink, like promised. Castelo Branco people, what are you like? I imagine there's some error of reporting there, I hope. But that's quite a welcome. That is quite a welcome in Castelo Branco, isn't it?
They're very grateful for their hot dogs.
We'll come back. We'll come back for further clarification on that. David's dry sense of humour. We do love that. We do love that. It's very. Go on, David.
Can I ask a question? So I might have to leave soon. So I want to get a question. I don't want to interrupt the flow, but I have one question about Portugal and like taxes and law and cars.
Yes.
Okay, so I heard that there's an additional tax on buying a new car in Portugal. There's like 20% on top of like VAT. Is that true?
You pay 23% when you buy the car as a regular tax of buying a product. Then you have EUC, which is a municipal tax that you will pay each year one time, and that price, depending on the value of the car, depending on the engine displacement and the license plate number, will incide on not license plate number, on the level of CO2 that car produces, will incide on the final tax you have to pay overall.
Okay. So I heard that Portugal charges an additional tax. The EU fines Portugal for that tax every year. This is on new cars only.
That happens when you import. What happens is if you are in EU, for example, on Spain, France, Italy, Germany, or whatever, another country that is part of the EU community, and you come to Portugal and you bring that car, you want to register that car as a Portuguese license plate. Mm-hmm. What happens is that the Portuguese government will tax the car, the EUC, which is the municipal tax on that license plate, according to the year that you register the car here in Portugal.
Okay, and I heard a loophole is to buy a used car instead. Is that right?
No, independently of being new or used, you will pay that tax.
Yeah.
We all pay that tax in Portugal. The difference is, for example, to be an easy understanding, you buy a car from 1994. I have a commercial vehicle. You pay 32 euros every single year without changing much on the tax you have to pay each year. But for example, you come from Spain or France, you brought a car that is the same year as mine from 1994. but the car has a French license plate, but you want to register this year in Portugal as your personal vehicle. What will happen is that when you are going to file that registration, EMT will pick up the reference of your engine displacement and will tax accordingly as a new car with a new license plate in Portugal. So instead of you paying the same 32 euros that I pay here in Portugal, you will pay the same amount as if you were to buy a new car here in Portugal. That is why the EU community is constantly fighting Portugal over that issue. The solution that Portugal found was if the car is from the EU community, it will not be applied the same thing that has been so far. What I want to say is if you brought a car from 1994 from France to Portugal and you want to put a license plate, Portuguese license plate in that car, you will pay the same amount as I do. However, if you brought a car from South Africa, from Japan, from United States of America, and you want to register that car here in Portugal, the same car from 1994, you will pay the same amount as if you were to buy a new car here. For example, the level of CO2 according to your engine displacement of that car is the amount aggravated in your tax at the end of your license plate.
Okay. So simple.
I'm going to add to that.
There you go. All right, now test him, Joel, to see if Dave understood that with a couple of questions now.
Yeah.
I didn't. I'll fail the test.
You don't need a car.
No, I'll definitely need a car.
No, buy here if you want to buy. If you are coming from United States of America, for once, for example, you have a Ford Mustang 5.0, which is the basic car in the United States.
I sold it. I sold that car. I'm going to buy a new car in Portugal.
Yeah, but
I'm trying to figure out.
Let's go by this. That car here already pays enormous amount of tax because of the CO2 levels. If you were to register here, you would pay even more just because it is a 5 liter. If it was a 1.1 liter engine, you would pay less. But nonetheless, you would pay above 200 or even 300 euros just every year. That tax would decline over the years, but not as a fast pace as an older car, for example.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I should buy a new car or a slightly used car. That's the question.
My recommendation, to be honest, and from my personal experience, buy a very used car.
Very used.
Like 1994.
Preferably from 1998
I'm
back.
going to get a Tesla.
To drive on the road.
I want to get a Tesla Cybertruck, and then we can go fishing.
Okay, Tesla.
Oh dear! Oh no!
This is what I have to say regarding Cybertruck. Cybertruck will never be registered or be able to be on the road in Europe as it is in the United States. As is now, as it was presented in the United States by Tesla, it will never pass the qualification or the registration of availability to be driven on Portuguese roads or any European roads.
Do you fish though? Are you a fisher? Fisherman? You have to be.
Are you a fisher?
Fisherman.
My God, I drove one of them the other day, Carl, and
here we go. Joel's had a go. You what, a Tesla or a Tesla?
I drove one. Yeah, no, a Tesla. I drove one of them the other day, and I felt like I was at the cinema because there's nothing on the dashboard, and you're just looking at this screen with the traffic lights and people walking by and the cars going past you. It's really weird. I thought it doesn't feel like driving.
Did you let it drive itself?
Well, I was driving it, but it didn't feel like you're driving a car.
I mean, did it like do all the turns and everything for you?
No, you did it yourself. But you're constantly thinking. You're looking at the dashboard. There's nothing on the dashboard, just plain. And there's this big screen, which it's like a monitor. It's like you're looking at your laptop.
Did you floor it? Did you do 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds? Did you do that?
Oh, it flies, mate. Yeah, I must admit, it does fly. It does go.
Dave, you'll know this. What's that alternative to the Cybertruck, the other electric pickup?
There's like a Ford Lightning or something that's probably will sell better.
No, it's not Ford. There's a Rivian.
Sorry?
Right. No. The Ford one will sell. Those others are not going to do much. I don't think.
You're talking about over 100 grand.
The Ford one is affordable. There's a new Ford pickup truck.
It is already in the market, and it is affordable, and it is an SUV, not a pickup. What the question is about the Rivian that will be produced, that will have a front and a trunk. That's yeah. And it is to be released next year.
Let's have these comments. Carl, put that comment up again.
Hold on, we've got a lot of catching up to do here.
No, let's have that comment first. I can't not.
We've got to, I think we need to resolve the car stuff. Okay, because it's
Frank
always
just called and he's tired of talking about cars.
No. Frank's going to love the next topic of conversation. Okay, so William Williams says, let's work our way back to that comment. And we've got to speculate whether it's Fiona or Simon. I think it's Simon, don't you? Not Fiona. I think Fiona's gone out with her mates for tonight and left Simon in charge of social media. And he's in so much trouble tomorrow. Moped for short trips, Uber to get to the pub, backpack for groceries, train and Uber for big trips. Williams, that's good. No toll, no repair. This is why I use the hire car. Or you got to pay the tolls with the hire car, to be fair. No break-ins or downs. Perfect, William. This is the future, leasing and hiring. And they are not expensive. Hold on. I think Ludwig Dingledine does like a Tesla. Sorry, this is so slow. The processing power. Oh, bless you, whoever that was. And they are not.
I did see a pickup in the UK the other day. It was a Chrysler SRT pickup with the V10 from the Viper. It was a
the Dodge SRT tank.
Dodge SRT pickup. It was huge. An absolute monster.
We've got the perfect car for you. We've got the perfect car for you, Dave. Gary and I will recommend it to you. It's the one that old guys use here, and it's a bit of a. I don't think you have to have a driving license even to get one. They are a bit expensive, but they're beautiful, aren't they, Gary? You know the ones I mean?
I know you go.
Yeah, the old man and the old lady. Two-stroke, I think it is. It's full of
two-stroke diesel engine.
Yep, 2 horsepower. It's the business. Edmundo wants to
I
go.
believe it has 10 horsepower.
Look at this. He's got a boat as well. Let's go fishing. I have the boat, Carl. Bring the booze. Okay, next year. Hold on a minute. Come on. You could do this, computer. The few big American cars in Portugal with their big gasoline engines have to be converted to LPG to reduce the fuel cost. There you go. That's what you're up against. This is a prelude. This is a prelude to the comments. This is definitely Simon and not Fiona.
I had a wonderful afternoon pushing a Ford Mustang to a warehouse.
All right. Jordinja, I'm not sure I'd buy a new car in Portugal. I didn't see a single car in Porto Lisbon without a dent on it.
Yeah.
When I was in Lisbon, I saw a car that had a wing made out of hardboard. It was fantastic. Up north, we say pecan. Okay, instead of pecan rather than something else.
Instead of catheter.
You feel like you got. And Johnny says, and we're going to come back to your comment in a moment and really find out if it's Fiona or Simon. You can take 1 car per person as a new resident in Portugal from another country in Europe, free from tax. This will run and run, for sure. Okay, so Gary, you wanted to see this again. On the last man cave, we're going to push the boat out, and that's not all. Cut that bush. I'm not even going to read it out. You can read for yourselves. You can all read.
Come on, Carl. You have to read it.
Like she likes her milk, and make her work for it. This is old school, isn't it? This is not the way. I don't think that goes with manscaping. That kind of talk and that kind of approach to romance.
That's why you need internet in the bathroom.
Yep.
Well said. Well said. It's such a mixture of comments tonight. Uber is slavery. Well, I guess, yeah, there's some truth in that, isn't there? Edmundo is a professional driver like yourself, Joel. Uber is slavery for the drivers. Big company have loads of cars, no label contracts. Hell yeah.
If you go to London, you'd be best off taking a black cab because these guys have trained for it. They're professionals. They know the way around the streets, not the back of the hand.
But not as good as Google, though.
Sorry?
Come on, Google Maps sends you the wrong way up a one-way street.
Not as good as me.
Across the centre reservation.
Joel's got the knowledge. Hold on. So this is
Carl.
Simon. She bathing and shaving. I think he's really drunk. Do you think he's really drunk? Don't get drinking and typing, Simon. But carry on because we're loving it. Go on, Joel.
Can I ask the beer drinkers here, a mate just forwarded to me a picture in Sweden of some beer. Has anyone heard of this?
I will put that on the screen. I think you sent it to me, haven't you? Hold on a minute. Let's just open that up.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's called wank.
And is it bitter? Is it bitter?
Yeah, it's a Sputnik variant.
It's salty.
You heard of it?
Salty. Oh, it's a bit salty.
Hey, Carl, that sounds like
You're
juice
going to crack one open.
Take your word for it. You got to crack one open. Did you say, Joel? Oh dear! What a way to go out today.
It's chaser with it.
Oh boy, men and their cars. I love not having to drive a car anymore. No hassle, no car insurance, or walking or riding a bike is better for the environment. Well said. Vorrei dire. Carl, sorry, says Yanni. I must correct you. I've been following you before you started the Good Morning Portugal. Yes, of course. We talked to me. And you talked to Mrs. M about astrology, of course. I remember now. We even spoke on the phone a long, long time ago. The old lady near us used to pick up 50cc and we'll give you a flash of her. Okay. All right. See, this is all part of the fun of living in Portugal. Or is that in the UK? I don't know. That sounds like Portuguese hospitality to me.
That could be UK.
That could be UK. That's Norfolk, isn't it? You can't use those cars in icy. Okay. Cars and inverted commas. What are they called? Joel and Antonio and Joel.
Reformers.
Are these the pensioner killers, or what they call them? Old people.
Yeah, no, we call it Papa Reformers.
Papa Reformers. What does that mean?
Retirement pension eater.
And why do they cost €15,000?
Because they are retirement pension eater. They are too expensive for the crap that they are. Don't get me wrong, on the city, going around on the town, that is wonderful. That thing, just 1 liter, you can go a full city port all the way around, which is wonderful for retirement because it only needs license plate. You only need insurance. It is like an insurance for a motorbike, and the only thing that is required for you to drive it is going to the municipal hall and take a license. That is it, which is cheaper. It was. Actually, that was one vehicle I considered on buying. Used, having that car parked inside the garage. When I don't need to go very far, just picked it up and go to town.
Okay, Dave had to go. But those are amazing, those Papa Reformers. Okay, that's good to know. Dave should...
even though they are noisy, they are uncomfortable. Even kids they can drive when they are 16. They are allowed to drive those cars here. So that is practical. Those parents that can afford to buy that vehicle for their kids for transportation, they do it.
Yeah. Okay, so it's an anomaly. Portugal. We haven't heard from Simon for a little while, have we? Oh, look at here's the big man. Here he is. He's back. Shush. She's back now. Fiona, ask him what he was saying. Shall I put his earlier comments up on the screen now? No, it's the man cave. We can't do that. But Joel, you showed yourself there. Put him up, yes. Portugal is going to content the number of cars inside platforms to force them to make labour contracts. Okay, that's good news. And pay the proper taxes, which they're not doing at the moment. Also is going to regulate the prices with the taxis. Glad I'm not an Uber, neither a taxi. I'm a travel agency who does private taxi services and tours. Take my clients to my cellar.
I worked for a tourism company for 1 month as an Uber driver. And I worked 12 hours a day with 1 day of week as a day off. And the only amount of salary that I took it from that month of experience was 600 euros. And I was doing the night shift from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m.
Rubbish, eh? Yeah. Rubbish. Taking a mickey on it. Apparently it's the Algarve where Nigel Henry is enjoying that service, if I can call it that, feature, service, aspect of life. And I don't know how that happened, Nigel. Could you tell us more about how that actually came to happen for the first time? Maybe it was an error of translation. You just said, you did your best Portuguese, and next thing you know, your neighbour's got her blouse open. It happened to anyone, of course. Ludwig Dingledine already have the charger installed. Oh, so he is waiting for a Tesla Cybertruck. Most practical vehicle for the olive farm. What do we think? The most practical vehicle for the olive farm, a transit would work as well, wouldn't it? Come on, Pete. You just want a Cybertruck, and that's fair enough. But other options. I mean, Lee's shaking his head there. What would you get for your olive farm, Lee?
Oh, Mitsubishi 4Works.
Okay. Don't know what that is, but is that a manly?
It's a Mitsubishi pickup. Yeah, you can't break them, you can't kill them. They run forever.
Is that the one that the top gear dropped from a great height and it survived?
No, that was a Toyota.
The same thing.
Almost the same thing. The only difference is, for example, the Mitsubishi that you usually see, they are double cab with a truck bed on behind. With the versions you see on Portuguese roads are Dakar specials that are from the Portuguese presence in Dakar, Bridge Dakar rallies.
Okay, thank you for that. So apparently
it's got extra seats behind the driver.
Okay,
the car has a row of seats.
Look at this beauty car. Today I got into it.
Hold on a minute.
E-Type.
Oh, nice.
Jag.
Yeah.
12V. 12V. Beautiful. I just don't like the colour.
No, that is a
beautiful.
Bit
beautiful.
Okay, so we just need to say to Fiona that Simon, while you were away, Simon was saying how much he loved you. What a beautiful person you are. That sort of thing, and how if it's possible tonight, he would dearly love to give you a cuddle and be very gentle and kind, run you a bath like we can do for you, and that sort of thing, Fiona. So you've got a good man there. See what I did for you there? And don't look at the earlier comments. Ree is here as well.
What happened to David? He dropped off.
Antonio F. Mystery Man would like to join us. We have to say yes, don't we, to that? Of course you can join us, Antonio F, for the last one. Somebody just pipped. They disappeared and came. Who we lost? The
what was David? What happened to him?
Dave had to go out. His wife wanted to take him to an open-air concert tonight. And he goes, happy wife, etc.
The Dottore is back.
But the Dottore, best beers from Belgium. What about Superbot? Exactly. Well said, Edmundo. So join us. The link is in the comments now, Antonio. It'd be lovely to meet you. Ree is here. Ciao, gents. Good evening to you, Ree. We've loved your presence at the Man Cave over these last few months. It's been fantastic to hear you. In her onesie, out of luck tonight. So is that what happens when the onesie's on, the lust is gone kind of thing? Is that what happens? Is that what a onesie means? I guess it depends what kind of animal onesie is. Is that what see it? Is the onesie a passion killer?
think so.
Is it like
I don't
period
think so.
patterns or something?
It depends on the flat side.
I'm intrigued by the comment. It depends what animal.
Yeah.
The one
If you both dress up as foxes, that's something else, I'm sure.
We
Stephen
were
knows.
acceptable until Nick
Steve-
played for one.
Yes. Okay.
And
Yeah,
now
he killed
it's
me. Okay. Antonio F. Senor Antonio, good evening to you. Great to have you here. Mystery
Good evening,
Man.
guys.
Oh, how are you?
Boa noite.
I'm fine.
Lovely to see your face.
Well, no,
Thank you. Thank you for all your contributions in the evening, in the morning. You're a star.
I hope you can hear me well.
We can perfectly well.
Yeah.
Perfectly well. Where are you in Portugal? Are you in Portugal, in fact?
Near Sintra.
Oh, in Sintra. Okay. Well, thanks again. With the regard, and great to be here. Chip in as you see fit. Okay. We're going to talk about onesies a bit, I suspect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, Gary, don't you?
Now I've got this thing of animal onesies and where the aperture is.
The flaps. Look at that size of that dog.
Onesie is.
Is that Margarita in a onesie? No, it's actually. Who is this, Andrew?
This is Alpha.
A huge creature. Oh, you got it. Oh, lovely.
She speaks Portuguese.
Of course. So what do you say, Andika?
Come here.
Okay, let's catch up a bit in the comments here. Hoping for a nice surprise is Pete. He wants to get his Cybertruck. You never know, Ludwig. The Berlin factory has the presses installed. This has all the drama of like the Apple. Somebody was talking about Apple phones earlier on, weren't they? Would dare you have a different smartphone? Really, the Tesla is the Apple of the car world, isn't it? Let's face it. Pete will be queuing up outside the factory.
Oh dear.
Yeah, expensive and overrated.
Okay, crew cab. That's what they call when you got the seats in the back. Need one of those for my family. I'd love a pickup with enough seats in the back for the kids. Marina del Villamora was charged by all law enforcement checking full capacity in a few restaurants and big fines. Dear, oh dear, over 4,000 euros if they overbooked in the Villamora Marina. What a terrible time we're living in, eh? The old Toyota pickups seem indestructible. They were everywhere in Saudi, usually on two wheels.
Funny thing about those Toyota Hiluxes, they vanished from Portugal. Guess why? Because they were stolen and sent to Africa and Saudi Arabia.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the vans, the seven seats.
Toyota Aces, Toyota
seven-seaters.
pickups. Everything that is a van who is stolen from here and goes directly to Africa.
In the UK, stolen was the Land Rover Defender 110, the long wheelbase. More than anything else was stolen and sent overseas.
What bemuses me is if you're thinking of going on a holiday on a ferry, it takes quite a lot of logistical forethought, doesn't it, to get your car on a ferry and drive it from one land mass to another over the sea. How do these people vanish a car like that from one country to another?
Well, because they do this. They stolen the trucks, the vans, and everything else. They store it for a couple of months so that the police loses its trace. Then they put it in lorries. They send them to the port. They put it on shipping containers, and they send them off. Easy as pie. No one is the wiser because, for example, a car that is registered here, if you export it to another country, has to have a new registration. So even if the car has a previous registration, it's considered a new vehicle. So they stamp a new license plate on it, and that none is the wiser.
I'm so
and new documents is no problem there.
Yeah.
Okay.
They reckon, like in Romania, 85% of all cars are stolen and re-registered there. And most of the things.
Yeah, especially the luxurious cars, like Mercedes, BMWs, Porsches, and everything else, are stolen from the rest of Europe, end up in Romania with a new license plate. especially bought by mob guys.
Okay, we got some catching up to do here. To travel in Europe, we are very happy with our Toyota Tundra V8 on gas. Did a good job on our journey to Portugal. 24 hours and fully packed. Well done. Methane and hydrogen. I think Simon is just down to shouting stuff out like Father Ted here. Just random things.
We the cheapest fuel you can get is LPG.
Yes,
Yep.
that's right. But why are so few people converting?
I don't know, because that is very reliable. I had one for 2 years. I had a 4x4 that was running on LPG. I never had any issues with it.
Yeah, I had one as well for a few years.
Thing is, LPG only works on.
The funny part is when you were to do the oil change, instead of the oil coming out all black, it would come as if you were putting in as new.
Look at this. Can you do that smile again, Antonio F? We have revealed, the mystery has been revealed. Fantastic. Nubianet, pleased to see you. Edmundo's been sharing us, everybody. He's got to go to bed, early work tomorrow. And Pete might get himself on Portuguese TV. Got one of the first orders here in Portugal, but who knows? So if he does have the first Tesla Cybertruck, he could find himself on SEEK or RTP, couldn't he?
If Tesla manages to make it EU certificate.
Okay, or if.
Because as it stands now, it isn't roadworthy.
Okay.
For
LPG, it only works on spark engines, so spark ignition, not diesel engines. So a lot of people.
It works on both. No, it works on both. LPG works on both. The only difference between the diesel and gasoline engines is LPG can work on its own on gasoline engines, but on diesel engines, LPG has to be mixed with diesel, so the fuel consumption lowers on both sides.
Okay.
Yeah, and the LPG costs about 60 cents a liter.
Yeah.
60 something.
Only gasoline engines, spark ignition engines. I've never seen a diesel conversion with LPG.
Yeah, because for those that don't know, diesel engines work with compression, not with spark. So the difference is you have to mix both. You have to mix both fuels, LPG and diesel, so the engine can compress and make the explosion happen.
Do many Portuguese people use old cooking oil, Joel?
Yes.
Instead of diesel, they do. So that happens.
I have an acquaintance. They use vegetable oil on a Mercedes 190E. 190D.
Lovely car. I had one of those. Yeah, that's an African car as well, isn't it? For sure.
Yeah, he has a redundancy on fuel filters, and he keeps on running with vegetable oil with no problem.
Amazing. And so he's got his favorite cafes to go and get his oil from, or whatever.
Or restaurants. You just the only thing he has to do is just pre-filter when he gets home.
Amazing, isn't it amazing? So this is for you, Andrew. Is that a dog?
Yeah, un dog alemão.
Yes,
okay. All right, Nigel. Yeah, it's just overcommitted. It is a sad thing to finish. It was the same with the wine club, but I'm having a year off the booze, Nigel, and I want to go to bed a bit earlier on a Friday. And actually, the other part of it was I thought we were coming out of the lockdowns, and that's wrong-footed me because I don't know if that's the case anymore. They don't go on ferries. Okay, yeah, fair enough, Shortinger.
You can't park them on either in car parks.
So that again, Gary?
You can't park them in underground car parks either.
You can. LPG vehicles can be parked in underground car parks. The exception is an LPG vehicle that doesn't have the green ticket on the windscreen cannot go below -1 level. I did it. I had an LPG 4x4 and I parked it underground with no issues and no police to come and pass me a fine because of it. The issue they have for LPG vehicles parking underground is the fact that the gas is it doesn't have a scent, is inert, and is heavier than oxygen, so it will always remain closer to the floor. If there is a spark, it can boost, it can ignite and cause fire. But the funny part is that if you park an LPG vehicle next to a gasoline vehicle, and the gasoline vehicle has a short circuit, and the LPG vehicle also has a short circuit, the car that will burst into flames and explode first will be always the gasoline car.
What are the chances, though?
Yeah.
Besides the fact that an LPG tank in the car has a valve and protection system, besides being in a state of compression, it will not explode independently of the temperature.
Right, Joel, can you take care of these two questions together? Is it widely available in Portugal, the LPG?
Yes, LPG, you can find LPG stations in the majority of big cities, even in some towns.
Okay.
It is widely available, and you can find even repair shops that have certificate to do maintenance on LPGs.
Okay.
Yeah, there are about 300 LPG stations in Portugal.
All right. And if it was so good, this is a good point, actually, from Jason. If LPG was any good, cars would be made like that. Why do you think that's not the case?
There are some brands that make cars with LPG.
For example, Daewoo or Chevy, as we know here in Portugal, made only LPG vehicles. They sold them. The thing is that people don't buy them.
In the UK, Vauxhall Opel made dual fuel, so they made gasoline and LPG.
So did the Daewoo Chevy brand in Portugal did the same thing.
Dacia as well as LPG cars.
The other thing you've got to watch out for, and I had an LPG vehicle, is on some engines it's not quite compatible that it runs hot, so it might start to burn your valves out. And if that's the case, you have a upper cylinder lubricant which stops that, which is like a little pipe that goes into the fuel.
Who doesn't like an upper cylinder lubricant?
There you go.
Okay.
Go.
I used to have, yeah.
I'll have to bid you good night, but I will keep in touch, mate. Tout bon, pretty usual. I will make sure that I'll pass my so I can get some details and keep in touch with Joel as well somehow.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Or we'll be back on this if Andrew is taking care of matters for the future. And I want to bid you a good weekend and just let you have some of that. All right.
All right.
Fingers crossed we're going to do it.
Well, before you go, because this is what we'll finish these comments here, and then we'll finish with the football, because we can't not talk about that. What the most exciting weekend in football for many, many years. The second time in my lifetime, in fact. So before you go, Joel, who's going to win? What's going to be the result?
It's going to be 3-1 to England.
Okay, nice.
Everyone's got this premonition that the Italians, on paper, everyone's going to say England, Italy, on paper. But on the day, I think the Italians have had it. This is the game. That they're not going to win it.
It's at Wembley, isn't it?
It's at Wembley.
I mean, that is
probably
going to make
be
a
about
massive...
55. It's going to be about 5,000 Italians, probably 50,000.
Yeah,
55.
Yeah,
English.
And
whatever.
I thought the Danes were so brave when they played at Wembley to stay as strong as they did for as long as they did was an incredible thing. But I'm not sure the Italians will be able to do the same thing.
No,
anyway, we'll come back to the football.
Everyone I've spoken to, they said 100% Italy, and I've gone against it. I think England is one game away. It's 55 years. We've got to do it. I mean, we've had this virus and everything.
Final score 2-1.
Take care.
All right, we'll come back to the footy.
3-1 the Doc.
All right, Joao, thank you so much, and thank you for being here and all the times you have, bringing us fun, winding us up about Margaret Thatcher, all that sort of stuff. Take care. Bye for now. De nada. I used to have a 7.5-ton truck converted to run on used cooking oil. We know the sort. I bet you had a dog on a string as well. Was tricky to start in the cold and smelled like a chip shop. Also converted generators by drilling a hole in the airbox and putting the pipe from the propane gas bottle to run it. Only ran flat out, but was good and cheap. Amazing, Jason. Keep on paying at a pump. Electric, not the answer, says Simon, who's still with us just about, I think. There are about 300 LPG stations in Portugal. I mean, you see them everywhere here, don't you? It is a country set up.
Because the thing is, you just go to a regular gas pump. There is a pump separated from the regular fuel station, and you can fill up the LPG car there.
All right, you can get a multi-fuel carburetor as well. Don't get started with this, Joel. Mitsubishi Nessie hydrogen car, check it out. Can you resist?
Hydrogen's the way.
Hydrogen is the way if they solve two issues. One of them is supply, and the other one is the tanks, the fuel system, the transition from the fuel deposit to the car. It takes way too longer.
Okay.
You can buy domestic hydrogen generators. Like, I think people will end up paying the license for their own generating their own hydrogen.
Interesting. Okay, Antonio, this might be for you. How common are mechanics that can work on LPG? Most Portuguese mechanics can do anything, can't they?
Yeah, but LPG is not as easy as that. Basically, you have to use those guys that convert the engines, that install the systems. Those are the guys that are the mechanics as well.
Yeah, there are. For example, here in Porto, there is only one mechanic that works with LPG.
What? In Porto?
Yeah, in Porto. Only one reputable mechanic that only works with LPG systems in Porto. There is only one. The rest can do maintenance. The rest can do they can work on an LPG car, on the combustion engine, no issue. The only issue is working on the fuel system, the valves and the gas tank and the LPG tank. That has to be with a certified mechanic. And as far as I know, only one mechanic in Porto has that certificate.
All right, fair enough. Question for the Portuguese men again, I think. This is from Nigel Henry. I have a diesel tractor I use on my fruit farm. Can I buy tax-free diesel? I don't use it on the road.
No, you can buy for example, if you go to a gas station, there is agricultural diesel, which has a special dye on it. Because if you were to, it is cheaper than regular diesel. But for example, if I was to use my car that is diesel and was to fill up with agricultural diesel, my car would smoke a color, and that would put a red flag on police, and they would stop me and find me for using diesel not intended for my vehicle.
That's a white out. I've put red diesel in my diesel cars before, and it doesn't have any other exhaust.
I don't know. I never tried it. I cannot verify it.
That's a myth. It's a common myth.
This is word of mouth passed on to us. So
the only way they can tell is if they drain the tank.
Yeah, they've got to dip the tanks for it.
So they just put a probe on the tank and pick some diesel and see the color.
Depends.
That
depends on the gas filler. That depends on the gas filler, because there are cars that have a small filter on the end of the neck on the entry of the deposit, and it will not allow for the probe to go inside. For that, they have to dismantle the inside of the car to have access to the fuel pump in order to do the test.
A lot of diesel cars have a fuel filter, which you can unscrew the bottom. You drain out any.
Usually, the cars that I have owned, and as far as I know, they only have two entrances. One is where the fuel pump is located on top of the gas of the tank, and the other is the fuel port. So in order for the police to do a check if you are using agricultural diesel or not, they either try to put a probe through the diesel port where you fill up the car, or they have to dismantle the fuel pump itself, pull it up in order to do a direct check on the tank.
What a palaver! What a palaver! Okay, best to be prepared and have alternatives. That's a good shout in this day and age, for sure. David Dawson says that decides it for me. Diesel, unless
it is what we use more. It is among the most sellable car in Portugal. It is the diesel car because
it'll be outlawed. It's going to be outlawed in time, isn't it? Going to miss you guys, says Fiona or Simon. Probably Simon. Can't we have a coffee club? Well, I like to think of the morning show as a coffee club in a way. It's a different kind of chat, isn't it, on a Friday night with the fellas and a few beers. So I can't imagine us being like this on a morning coffee club, but who knows? And also, don't forget, Portuguese, the YouTube channel. Andrew is going to continue this. It's not like, it's a terrible, awful situation. This is continuing. Andrew's going to see to it. So
also, Carl,
it's a terrible, awful situation. This is continuing. Is the sentence usually used?
do not fret, folks. Andrew, go on.
Well, the same, Carl. You're going to make an appearance, I'm sure, aren't you?
Of course, I will not be able to resist that. So yes, thank you. I'll take that as an invitation. Pyrolysis for your plastic waste.
Pyrolysis.
Okay, pyrolysis. Okay, so make fuel from that. Okay, you could also make a methane digester for your toilet, couldn't you? And cook on it. We can do all of these things, and who knows, we may have to. Oil barons. There's another shout, a heckle there from Simon. I think. Oil barons. The football is between fish and chips and pizza. I've not seen it like that. I will be eating fish and chips, but I think Domino's are doing a good deal on Sunday. Thank you very much, Paul. We used to soak red diesel through bread to take the dye out. And that goes together with this, Jason, doesn't it? I am proud of my traveller heritage. Well done, mate. Amazing. What a waste of bread. Or did you get that out the skip diving at the back of the supermarket? Maybe it was all a closed loop thing. Buy your diesel soon, says Mike. They're going away in Europe and probably elsewhere too. That's what I think will happen. Or put white in the tank. If you get dipped, if you got dipped, have a barrel of bread pumped straight into the pump. Lol. Jason knows all the ways.
The diesel engines have a tendency to be outlasting gasoline engines. So
True.
Even if there are no more new diesel cars being sold, older ones for sure will still be on the road until the governments decide to cut off diesel supply. Then we are forced to buy new cars, or at least use ones without other fuels.
Then the price of used cooking oil goes through the roof.
Sorry, Doc, I didn't get it.
I said the price of used cooking oil goes through the roof.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we have so long before fossil fuels end up becoming outlawed that most of the people in this room will never see that day.
The problem is
we are replacing one fossil fuel by using a mineral that we have to extract from Earth and do the same amount of pollution.
The thing is, Joel, liquid fuels have a high energy density, and the problem is, if you look at the wider supply and demand of everything, everything is shipped on diesel engine ships. Everything reaches the shops and diesel engine trucks. You won't get rid of diesel or the engines. It just won't happen.
It won't be easy.
It won't happen. The whole infrastructure of the world is geared up on liquid hydrocarbons and diesel engines.
There are alternatives that they are not considering. I will not say hydrogen, but for example, ionic salt water. You can make a positive charge and a negative charge from ionic salt water and make it not a combustion engine, but make it an electrical vehicle.
But
For
it's not
example, Nano, for example, sorry, Eric. Nano, for example, which is a company from Eastern Europe, is developing an engine that has already run 1 million kilometers that runs on salt water, and it works. The only issue is they are still on test phase for the past 5 years, and then they are not making the step of moving forward because it is a technology so different that will imply that many countries will have to adopt a new fuel system they are not prepared for, and they can make it as long as there's salt water on the ocean.
There's that sewage smell though, isn't there, with saltwater engines? But anyway, never mind that about all that eco stuff. There's gonna be football coming home on Sunday. I want to show you this now. Look at this. This is the supporters map for Sunday. It's not looking good, is it? But this is the exciting thing. And actually, there's a comment even from our very own John here. She's saying, "Look at this." She says she's going to be supporting Italy as well. Where's her comment? Yeah, I wish you English people good luck in the final, but I support the Italians. And I think that's pretty true. That graphic on there, isn't it? And I think it's going to be the most amazing. It's going to be the most amazing thing that after Brexit, if England in these Euros, it's just going to be the most difficult political thing ever, isn't it? What do you think?
It would put a perfect end to
it. Change sides halfway through.
Or remain in the dressing room. So what do we think? What do we think on Sunday? Is it going to come home? I know, Will, this is very important to you. Okay.
I want to the map. The map basically, that's basically everyone hates us because of Brexit. Is that what that map says?
It's mostly Europe haters.
So if England does win, is everyone going to boo at the end?
Nobody will hear that. There will be no. I mean, no. It's going to be interesting on Sunday, isn't it? If England win, it's going to be extraordinary. It is going to be an amazing thing for Boris Johnson. He'll be the luckiest man ever, won't he? If England win the Euros, it's going to be
What's
he got to do with it?
Because no, it's the bread and circuses thing, Will. The emotions of the nation will be consumed entirely by a victory.
And we'll ignore him.
Yeah. And not him and his cock up and his terribleness.
What's he done now? What's he done now?
It's a bit like Maggie starting a war.
Exactly. But not even having to start a war. Just having it out tribally on the pitch will be enough, and it will be the most extraordinary thing. However, if England lose, the mood of the nation is somber enough. He will have the worst sort of situation on his hands, won't he? And you could say, good, quite rightly so, and serves him right. But it is going to be the most extraordinary thing, and I think it's going to be an amazing match. And I think it's very difficult. However, even if you do think it's, what was it Jason said, 22 millionaires chasing a bag of air. It is ridiculous. It is stupidly tribal and abstracted. It's all true. When you take away what you know about football, or if you don't know anything about football, you look at it and go, well, what's that all about? But I think it's so hard not to get drawn into it at this level. But maybe you won't, Will. Gary, let's go around now. Sorry, go on, mate.
I was going to say, I love seeing when the men are in the pubs and they're all loving it and they're together and having fun. It's good to see it. So whatever it is, it works for you guys. And I think happy for that.
Yeah.
I go cross-eyed after 5 minutes.
No,
Okay.
I understand. I understand that, but I also understand what you're saying is that that sort of religious experience, if you like, of people being together, communal, focused, and having a common enemy. There's something about that, isn't it?
It's very much a tribal thing, and I think that's why people like football more, because the scores are lower. It's not like basketball where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the rarity of the kill that makes it exciting. And that's my logical understanding of it, as they said. Yeah,
it's a sexual metaphor. It's a sexual metaphor. So much effort for so little in return, and then when you do get a return, it's like yes, it's sexual. It's sexual.
It's just like when people say, "Oh, we did it." It's like you didn't do anything. You watched. You did it.
Exactly. Again, well,
part of something. Okay,
it's bound to happen, and Johnson won't just have a European Cup, but also a new vaccine-resistant variant. So, yeah, you think it's going to be good for Boris then, by the sound of it there. Sorry, so we've lost the doc, but I think he said 2-1. So let's round up this momentous man cave, the last one of this kind, with our predictions. Gary, you'll definitely have something to say about this. Are you feeling it?
Yeah, I suppose it's such an unusual event. I suppose I've got to get some sort of interest in it. And I suppose we deserve it. We've had too many bad, semi-final disappointments and stuff. So yeah, I hope they do. I hope they do win it. I'm going to go for 2-1.
2-1. Okay. Joel, do you have a view on this? Your face says not.
The referee will win the match.
The referee will end the match.
Will win the match.
Oh, as usual. Okay. The referee always wins. Okay. It looks like that's what you want to say about it.
Yeah, suffice. I don't
give
a rat ass about football.
But if you're put on the spot, who are you supporting? Italy or England?
Germany.
Come on, Joel. I'm gonna press you on this. I think you're supporting Italy, aren't you?
No.
Joel?
Lucky smiling.
Are you supporting England then?
Italy, isn't he?
No, I'm not supporting both of the teams. If people know I hate football, why should I be supporting football? That's why I said in the first place the players that will win the match are the referees.
But your mates here are English, Joel.
And
we need you to make it. We need you to make it.
And you don't need to succumb to peer pressure.
Which is the difference? So we were allies. We are still allies when we were in World War II. That didn't make a difference for Portugal selling wolframium to the Germans and selling wolframium to the Allies. We sold both sides.
Right, you're avoiding the question.
So that's what I'm doing. I am remaining neutral myself and saying that none of them will win.
Treaty of Windsor, mate. I have to refer you to the Treaty of Windsor of 1366. We are allies.
So what? We gave you tea, so shut up.
Joel, this is really ending very badly.
We
gave you tea. We gave you tea. Okay. Mate, if Portugal were in the final against Italy, we would be supporting Portugal.
What do you want me to say? I don't like football. It is difficult for people to understand that the Portuguese doesn't like football. I am a Portuguese and I don't like football. What disgrace is going on in this world?
I know, but there's a fine.
This is what I am more favorable for the British to win.
Okay, the English, you mean, right? Not the British.
Satisfied? Can you now fuck off?
This is how it should end, really, on the man cave. But just a small point of order: there is the English and not the British. And no offense to Will. Okay, Andy.
It's fine.
Just going to say this to Joel. Most restaurants I've been in this country show a side of football with every meal. How can you not watch football? I don't
because
understand.
I don't like having to watch 22 idiots running after a ball like a cat running after a mouse.
Okay.
Besides the fact that it has nothing against the British, they were the ones that invented football.
For this Euro tournament, I mean, I've been excited like most football fans.
I wasn't excited. I didn't watch any game. Every single game I didn't watch from the Portuguese.
When our last Euro tournament, England were woeful, I supported Portugal and they won. So my tactic for this Euro tournament is I've been rather nonchalant about it, and England seem to have done rather well. So I'm going to remain my cool and calm, nonchalant self and go, not that interested. And we'll probably win. And then I'm going to just call a random score, which we'll probably get. And so I was reading Peter's comment. I'm going to say 3-2 England.
But in a nonchalant, because
we'll probably win if I stay nonchalant, because nothing else.
Man, you've changed, man. Okay, we're going around the screen now. Stephen, can you be bothered? Who's that tapping on their keyboard? You're going to break it.
I know so little about football. It is unreal. I'll watch the game and they'll kick a ball around and I'll go, ooh, that was a good cross, and he ran after that well. And yeah, it makes no difference to me who wins or loses. I'll put a bet on Italy so that if we win, we've got the England won it, but if we lose, then I get some money out of it.
Tactical.
But yeah, even if we do, and people were saying it will rouse the country, I don't think it will. I think there's a lot of people who don't give a shit about football, and they'll forget it by Tuesday morning. Everyone will be jumping up and down Monday. On Tuesday, everyone will be stuck back in what they're stuck in.
I think
this is the part that will disappoint a little bit. Let's just hope that England manages to score goals during the regular time and doesn't go to penalties, or will it lose?
Sure, you know enough about football to say that. To put salt in that old wound. I think you secretly hate England.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm just causing trouble.
Right. Is he referring to the England with the Italian Gascoigne, and when Gascoigne started crying back then? That was the last time I watched a football match. Like 1920s or something.
The 1920s, yeah. Spanish flu was over. We were celebrating the end of that pandemic, and Gaza started crying. It was amazing.
He cried. Lineker kicked it over the top. Who's the other guy?
It was Gary Lineker. Gary Lineker, that famous thing where he was looking at the boss going, which was at a very, very important moment. Around the same sort of time when Vinnie Jones did that amazing grasping of one of his fellows.
No, there is a good actor, Vinnie Jones.
Thank you, Joel. Okay, so Antonio F., the other Portuguese man, who I hope will be much more favourable in his support of the England. Antonio, you bring so many great things to what we do here. I hope one of them will be your full support for England. No pressure.
I just don't.
You're lucky.
What's so unique about
You're lucky. I don't like the way the Italians play football, but they are very effective. So I'm on the English side, but I'm afraid the Italians might win.
Okay. Yeah. And how do you see them playing football? What is your analysis then of their style?
Or it's political.
What's football?
It's what?
You're asking something about football?
The Italian style. What? How do you see that? You said you don't approve of the way they play. What?
Yeah, it's very compact. Also, in the last game, that got as usual, simulating a big foul that was injured and so on.
Diving.
Yeah, diving. Yeah. Taking to the pool.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Like a national stereotype almost.
Yeah. Catenaccio. Not anymore, but almost.
Okay. All right. But thank you. And dare you predict the score as well?
Yeah. It's harder.
Okay. But okay, so you're supporting the English, but you fear an Italian victory.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope you're wrong. Obviously, England didn't really score properly in the last game. I don't like football, but if I don't support England, then Mrs. Circus School will skin me alive. That's a good enough reason, isn't it? They didn't. I mean, yeah, they didn't score properly, but they won. The football's about winning, isn't it? And they had most of the possession. It wasn't unlucky, I don't think.
Yeah, but possession doesn't mean you're going to score goals.
Yeah.
No, but they had mastery of the match, didn't they? On any by any analysis. Come on.
Possession of the ball makes it difficult for the other team to score. If you have the ball, they can score.
I think we're lucky, but you need that in competition. You need luck as well.
Yeah. Okay. Not a fan, says Nubianet, of Italian style either. So I'll be rooting for England. Thank you, Nubianet. That's all we needed to hear. Need Garfo, the man of reason, to sway me, says Ken. I'd love to see neither win. Yeah, that's a tricky one. That's not going to happen. That is not an outcome, is it, in the final? Leaning England, but also don't want to reward the Tories. Yeah, so a direct connection between the government and the football team. Not that Italy is much better. Yeah, I guess neither country can hold its head up high politically, can it? Apart from the Bunga Bunga, which was probably one of the best political things not that Italy ever came out with. Ole, wahey. Thank you very much again with another erudite comment. We've gone from the Lament of Hermes to the ole, 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 which may well be the Lament of Hermes. Eric J, what are you feeling here?
Well, Carl, if you go back to a couple of weeks ago when Michael Heron and his buddy were doing the soccer thing, I originally was rooting for Germany.
Yeah.
But as we know, that ship has sailed. So at this point,
yeah, we put a torpedo in it.
Yeah.
Yes, that you do. So, being that I have some English lineage in me, I will be rooting for England, of course. I have no. Italy is so far off on my map. It's crazy. But anyway, my prediction will be that we're going to go 1-1 into extra time, and England will actually score 2 goals in extra time to finish the game at 3-1.
That's very specific and excellent. And can
that's a bold prediction.
It is. How does it feel to have some English lineage in you?
I didn't hear that, Carl. Can you repeat?
How does it feel to have English lineage in you?
Oh, it's fine.
Okay.
and was it trimmed?
You get
and at the same time, I want to make sure that Andrew gets full marks for his 2-1 prediction of the last game.
Yeah, fair play. And Eric, while we're here, thank you so much for being an amazing supporter of the Man Cave. You have been truly awesome in your support. Other lightweights fell by the wayside, like Charles and Eugene, and there you are, right to the last with us. So really appreciate it.
And again, I want to thank you for enabling me to be part of this community because it's awesome. And I hope that Andrew, I'm confident that Andrew is going to be able to carry the torch to some extent, that I'll be able to keep up with my buddies here because I'm coming.
Good.
So I need this connection.
I wonder why you're sitting like that.
Yeah,
I wonder why
it's the English lineage that did it. And there are other ways. There are other ways, of course. We have a whole bold, wide community here, don't we? Which there's no need to feel a loss tonight. It's more of an evolution, I would say. To whoever the best team to win the game is all that matters. Have fun. I would like to think that's true, but it's just so not true in football, is it? it just doesn't turn out like that, you know. Because I was trying to explain that to Mrs. M. She said, you know, why can't people just enjoy a nice game of football? It's like, it just, you know, it isn't like
we're not at primary school.
We're not at primary school.
No,
We're not all dancing in the parachute.
Saturday afternoon in the park.
Trophies for everybody.
Jumpers for goalposts. Well, everyone said that the French would do us in 2016. This is a language of football, isn't it? Doing people. Carl, everyone said that the French would do us in 2016, but we won. So we will win. Joao is very confident. Doc, your medicinal approach to this, please.
Well, I still think I'll still stick by my prediction 2-1. I think Eric is close. I think we will probably only score 2 instead of 3 in total, but I think that's very close. We have our own diver, of course. Grealish isn't averse to a stage-managed dive, is he? But I still think we'll win, and we'll deserve to win. We deserve to win the last match, even if we didn't deserve the individual, situation that led to us winning. But there were, we had the possession and we controlled the match. Just as an aside, I have read the Lament of Hermes while we've been online, and I had read it before, but it hadn't been given that title at the time because I read it about 30 years ago. But it's interesting. It's about the decline of Egypt as the center of culture and civilization, and yeah, it's an interesting read. So look it up on Google.
I had a quick look as well. It does look very good, and Graham Hancock is very good value as well. He's a remarkable,
interesting guy.
Yeah, definitely. So thanks, Doc. 2-1 to England. Kent says, where are we here? It'll probably come down to me supporting who does less flopping and whining. Well, that's a fair comment. It really is. And Johnny, good night. So glad you're here in Portugal. And you've got a husband and 2 sons, but it's only you that watches, you said earlier on. Boa noite, and may your wishes to win the final come true. Thank you very much, Johnny. All the best to you in your new life here in Portugal. I think I'm going to go with this 2-1 victory for England. And I was reminded about Gareth Southgate's his waistcoat for sure, definitely. But he's definitely a manscaper. I've got him down as a manscaper. To go with the waistcoat there. But how he's managed the team is really important here. And I think that's something, it probably won't be extracted from the victory when it happens. The other, Boris will hijack it. The fans will say we won, like Will says, and it'll be owned by the country in all sorts of ways and by different people. But what's really amazing here, if it's true, is Southgate's transformation of how England have played football as a group of footballers together, as a team. I mean, the word team is the key word here. And what he's done, I think, in terms of leadership is pretty awesome and worthy of national consideration. It won't be, but I still think it is worthy of national consideration. I think he's done an amazing job, and they are playing like people who love playing football and like playing together. Eric, go on.
Yeah, but at the same time, I've been reading a lot of articles that if England, let's say, just doesn't happen to win, Southgate could be gone in no time flat.
Goes with the job, doesn't it? Goes with the job, I'm afraid. Yeah. Andrew.
If he does bring it home on Sunday, it's going to be OBE or Sir Gareth, isn't it?
Say that again. Sorry, I missed that.
It's going to be OBE or Sir Gareth. It's going to be an honours, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt, and quite rightly so. I mean, that's what those awards are for, aren't they? They are all part of the bread and circuses thing and national morale and rewarding people and the meritocracy. So, yeah, he should rightly and predictably will be honoured in that.
It's ironic how, like Eric said, if he doesn't, he's going to get fired and lose his job. If he does, he's going to get honoured. Get a peerage or some sort of knighthood or something.
But any football manager must know that, right? That is what goes with the territory or coach.
Yeah, I guess you had Sir Alex, didn't you?
Yeah. Meaning what? I mean, he didn't move around though, did he? He wasn't in quite the same way a commodity.
No, but it's length of service to football. You know, Ferguson did a lot for Man U, didn't he? So
Sir Alex, indeed.
Sir Alex. Yeah.
Okay. Paul. So that's my prediction. Go England, says Dave Dawson. As we wrap up tonight, we'll go. I think we should go around the room again like we do. We've done the football, but let's maybe have a little recollection about the man cave. Good, bad, and ugly, whatever. And Paul says, I can't believe Carl has stopped the wine club and now the man cave. I'm going to be left floating around in cyberspace. I'm on every bloody morning, Paul. It's not. So see you there. See you there. David Dawson. What does this say? Some American sport, which we don't understand really, do we? Cubs or stop? By the way, I'm dealing with
baseball, I think.
Cubs. Okay, Cubs from Eric there. Okay, so we're coming up to 1 o'clock. We're coming up to the end of the man cave in this form. We've got to save Garvo till last, of course, as our longest standing. He's from Alviagra.
The man
he would be the longest standing. So let's go to the newcomers as we go around. Antonio F., newcomer tonight. Thank you for being here. Have you got a parting comment, thought, anything to share before we close tonight?
Well, I enjoyed taking part of the last one, unfortunately. But I enjoyed most of the times I've watched your man cave. It was funny most of the time.
Most of the time, yes.
That's the idea, I believe so, as well.
Humor occasionally breaks out. And we appreciate you and your comments as well, Antonio. So thanks for jumping on tonight and revealing your identity.
Yeah, no problem.
In the last show. Okay, so next newcomers, I think we're probably going to Stephen or Andrew, aren't we? In order of...
I'm guessing it's me that's the newer. Yeah, I don't even know where I found the Expat Portugal channel or how it turned up, but I've been watching the morning shows for a while. I then saw you doing the man cave, so I was watching those for a bit and started jumping on probably only 3 weeks ago or something. But it's like I say, I kind of mentioned last week, it's focusing me more on getting out to Portugal and what that might look like for me. So yeah, I definitely want to stay in contact with people and whatever guise it takes moving on, more than happy to be involved in that. So yeah, thank you, Carl, for running them. I love the way that around midnight you always say we're going to finish this off now and then throw a topic in that takes an hour or so.
Typically, we do it again.
So here we are at 1 o'clock. Yeah, so well done.
And this is why I'm stopping.
Well, just stop throwing new topics in at the end of it.
That's true. It's true. Thank you, Stephen, as well. Thanks for showing up and being here, and not just here, but also in your other places where you appear in our community. Really appreciate it. Abel Pinheiro is here. England 4, Prima Donnas 0. And Ken, thank you, Carl, for these streams. Last after hours dance party. I couldn't possibly, Ken, but we could have another disco sometime in the future. But what I'd love to do actually is DJ at a physical evening, and by that I don't mean a physical evening. I mean where people get together. They can have a physical evening.
That English is tricky, no?
In the Algarve, right on the Albufeira Strip. Let's get into a nightclub and let's all have a expats Portugal disco one night. I'll DJ at that willingly. That'd be fantastic. Let's go to Andrew then, who is the new producer and leader of the new Portuguese YouTube channel, which will host the Man Cave. Nice one, Andrew.
Thank you. Do you know what? It's funny. I stumbled across Expats Portugal purely accidentally. Because of COVID, as it goes. I was here in December for Christmas before my planned flight was to go back in January. And of course, the UK shut the border. So I ended up working remotely from here from January through to end of May when I flew back, and I spent a lot of time on the computer, and I was just roaming on YouTube as one tends to do, and I stumbled across Expats of Portugal. I thought this might be interesting and a good network of people. As it's like my plan is to kind of eventually kind of be permanently counted it, and so I purely tripped across, and I wasn't even particularly looking for anything in particular. I just happened to trip across you guys and kind of got accepted into the bosom of the community, if you like. And I guess that's what I love about the Man Cave as well. Is you kind of, it's like buddies going for a virtual beer in a virtual pub, which it's not a bad way to kind of, meet people. I guess like anything these days, online tends to be the kind of thing now, doesn't it? I feel the love for what you put here, Carl, and I just, if anyone is interested in carrying on, I'll certainly organise the hosting of it, and like anyone's welcome. I'm going to use the same thing, StreamYard, and put it on YouTube. I don't have a Facebook account. I don't know if that is the thing, if I need to set something up for people, or if they can just go to YouTube. But I'll certainly have to kind of have some sort of talking point topics ready for next Friday, for sure. I'll do it at the same time, the same hours, 10 plus till 12, 1, whatever. I don't have a young family, I have to say. I have stepchildren and grandchildren, so I don't have the same demands as Carl does. So certainly I could probably run for a bit longer of a Friday night if people are keen. But I mean, I guess I'll have to kind of find my way with this. But it's going to be, like I said, a kind of facsimile or copy as best I can make it as what you've done, Carl. So, thank you for welcoming me in. Thank you for
let me know how I can help with it as well, for sure. Am I right then in this being, this is the channel that you want people to subscribe to? This is where it'll be live streaming, because there's some value here.
I've only just started this, so I've.
Look at this. There are videos here on how to mow fast, how to paint fast, and how to mop fast. That is value straight from the bat.
That's just nonsense I've heard, and they're like 40-second videos. They're just something to chuckle at. But what we're going to do is, the other idea of that is, we wanted to do this for ourselves. We wanted to go and like just film places we've explored, walk around with the camera, film it, and go, "Oh, this is nice. We've been here. We've looked at this," and chuck it on YouTube, only for our own amusement more than anything. And it's our own kind of archive of where we've been and what we've seen, and we can share it with the world. It's interesting. And not that I'm expecting many people are, but the thing is, it's always kind of on this bucket list things is to start a YouTube channel, come up with an idea for an app. One of these many things that I've got on my bucket list. So I guess this is just me kind of chopping through that list, and if I can put it to good use to host the Man Cave, then so be it.
Good news, and let me know how I can help with that. Fantastic, Andrew. Thank you.
I should get your number at some point, or you can take mine and message me. I did want to ask you a couple of things just about StreamYard, but we can do this another time.
This is the problem when you're not on Facebook. You make it hard, difficult.
I'm not giving that Muppet all my data for free.
All right, there's my number. There's my number if you want it. Then you can just. But he needs WhatsApp as well. So
WhatsApp is Facebook also. So.
Yeah. Okay. So you can use that number on Signal if you want to pretend to be somebody else. So Dave, are you at the open air concert now? Are we going to get a gig to finish with? Maybe we are.
I think Dave.
We go to Eric J now, don't we? Because I know you pretty much summed up how you felt about this, but this is a bit different. And a parting comment, Eric, from you, if you want to do that.
Yeah, actually, I've met a bunch of very good people here, and I hope somehow we're able to keep up our relationships along the way. Carl, you are clearly the guy that stores the drink, and I can't thank you enough for all that you do for the community. This is my community now. My wife and I want to come to Portugal. We want to meet with you guys, and I don't know what more I could say.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
But thank you.
Thank you, and it's very. I just love being part of that, and I know that this is a widely held feeling that it's really useful to feel like you know people already before. It's like you know the idea of how action follows thought. If we and our emotions follow our thoughts. The thought is I am there with these people in Portugal, and then your kind of reality just spills into those thoughts. And I'm delighted to be a part of this on that basis, if that's indeed how it works. David is in Millennium Park in Chicago, right next to where I went to school. Is that correct, Dave?
Yeah, I'm at the symphony. Can you hear me?
That's amazing. Yes. Live from Millennium Park in Chicago for us.
That's right.
What a way to finish. All right, Dave,
sorry,
we're just
cut out early.
No, don't worry. We're just doing our go round. I think because we're going to go to the dock next, aren't we? And then Joel and then Garvo to finish off with. Dave, if you want to say anything at this stage about the man cave, do it now before you get too entrenched in the gig, maybe.
Yeah, I just want to, thank you, Carl, and everyone else for, kind of doing this and like educating people and helping them move to Portugal. I really appreciate it, and hope to see you all soon.
And we know things about you as well, such as the intimacy of our conversations. We know things about you now that we would never have otherwise found out. So I hope your wife appreciates that. Doc, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Carl. So I found this channel shortly after we came over to Portugal in August. And I've really enjoyed our Friday evenings. I'm sure they're going to go equally as well with Andrew, but Carl, you've been a brilliant host. I really enjoyed it. What you do for the wider community with the morning shows is fantastic. I have the honour to be part of that, and I will continue to be so. As far as Sunday is concerned, we're going to win because we will be the better team. But in terms of the man cave, let it go from strength to strength. There are some fantastic past episodes for people to watch who haven't been here long. All of them amusing, all of them entertaining. Thankfully, mostly without my input.
Cheers, Doc. Really appreciate you and all you do here. And excellent prediction for Sunday. We'll see you soon anyway. Fantastic. Thank you, Doc. Over to you, Joel. You are a very special part of this, whether you like it or not. And I'm very interested to hear your review at this point in proceeding.
Bem, Carl, isto vai ser em português, que é para te dar trabalho e te obrigar a aprenderes português forçosamente. E então aqui vai. Olha, que tenhas uma boa pausa de 1 ano, que tenhas boas felicidades contigo e com a tua família. Agradecer a todos que estão aqui presentes também. Um forte abraço. A ver se esta pandemia passa para a gente estar um dia destes, talvez cara a cara, em vez de estarmos a falar em frente de um ecrã. E desejar a todos também um bom fim de semana. Aproveitar o verão. Não tentar bronzear muito, porque senão depois parecemos umas torresmas. E enfim, tentar gozar a vida ao máximo. A todos um forte abraço aqui deste caralho. Bons caralhos que todos vocês.
I heard that. Right, so everybody knows what Joel said there. He said, "I'm really sorry about everything I said about football earlier on. I didn't mean it. I actually really love England and all that they stand for, and I suspect they'll win about 7-0. So thank you, Joel, for that. Really appreciate that and everything you've done for the Man Cave. Was that an accurate?
That
wasn't an accurate translation, then.
No, Google Translate it or ask Miss Filomena to do it.
Okay. Joel, thank you so much. Could you just say, is it, it's not Bifania, is it? Bifana,
Não,
I mean.
não é bifanha, não é picanha, não é carne de porco alentejana, não é nada disso.
Like you're not doing it anymore.
É só sinceridade à boa moda portuguesa.
There you go, Victoria. That's
pá, goza o ano de folga e depois nós estamos aqui para torturar outra vez.
Oh man, we think we love what you just said. Okay, thank you, Joel. Marvelous. Oh, look at this! I just walked by a rehearsal by the Beat, aka the English Beat, in that spot before they built a proper park. I had a private concert. Awesome. That's Dave Wakeling, isn't it? In that particular version of the Beat, because a good mate of mine back in the UK is a bass player in the version of the Beat that was fronted by Rankin Roger. Before his untimely and sad death. But the English Beat, amazing. Can't get used to losing you. Andy, you'll be fine, says Fiona and Simon. Probably Simon. We're all here to help each other. That's a lovely sentiment. Pete says, thanks, Carl. The channel has been great. Can't wait to meet more of you soon. It will happen, won't it? We haven't even met in person, have we, Pete, yet? It is remarkable how well we all kind of know each other, but so many of us haven't met in person. This is a lovely message. I'm just building up the tension for you, Gary and Will. Who knew I could be excited to get old enough to retire and to have an exciting life of virtually meeting very cool people, but hopefully in person? Thank you, Nubianet, and thank you for showing up here. Thanks for doing this. From Paul at Circus School every week. Andrew, you'll do brilliantly. Does our new future start next Friday? I think it does. Garvo, how would you like to... Actually, let's go to Will first, because Will, you haven't been a stalwart of the man cave, but you have absolutely been a part of the Good Morning Portugal project, and all that your input there. You know how much we respect, love, and value you for that. Do you want to add anything on at this particular moment?
I'm just glad I was here for the. I'm glad it's the last one. So I managed to get on one. That was nice. Yeah, because I've been here from the start as it was setting up.
Yeah.
I always had that feeling if I was constantly going to be evening me, dear me, I would have tried to dominate a little too much of the conversation and so on. So it was best that I step back and let you guys have your space. But I'm glad to be ahead at the end. Well, yeah.
Cheers, Will. All right, Garvo, special love for you because look at this, everybody. This is the man cave, the spiritual home. This is the man cave of the man cave, isn't it? This is really part of things, the spiritual home in El Viagra. It wouldn't have been the same without you, for sure. The man of reason. You have played an amazing part in this, and you've even been recognised in cafes. People in restaurants in Portugal say, that's that guy off the man cave, which I love. What have you got to say for yourself?
Where do you start? What do I say after all those comments? We've come a long way, haven't we? In quite a short space. We've had some real proper good old Wild West evenings, haven't we? Where it's been straight from the hip, and we never really know where the conversation is going to go or lead. Talked about a lot of things, laughed about a lot of things, and hopefully continue in another version. Because it would be sorry to make this structure that we've made where we can all talk about things, we can argue about things, but we don't have to fall out about it, and we don't have to get nasty with each other. And it's a good, healthy place to be, because I think that's what we need. We need to express ourselves. We need to, respect from, and we learn from each other. I've learned massive amounts of things from people on these shows. So thank you, everybody, for that contribution, and I'm really, really proud to be part of it. Yourself included.
Thank you very much, Gary. And I would echo that. And actually, did you see somebody just come on a screen there called Jimmy Riddle? That has been part of the fun here. We've allowed complete randoms to join us on screen. Eugene, that was amazing. But it was also, the last time he was here, it was kind of difficult. And to me, we've done exactly what you said, Gary, which has been able to be disagreeable but civil, and holds up a certain standard of communication that seems to be under threat in the world at the moment, and get through that somehow by being committed to it. We've had all sorts of incredible and unpleasant and weird comments coming in, randoms being on the screen. We've taken risks. And so on the one hand, I'm really delighted by that. You know, what a brilliant example we've set as communicators and a community, and being open-minded, but not being pushovers, you know. And I think we've tackled some really difficult and interesting subjects. And on the other part of it, I'm so delighted I haven't been fired by Expat Portugal with some of the things that have been said on here, and some of the ways. It's been unbelievable that we haven't found ourselves in any kind of trouble. So I am so delighted and relieved.
Just proves Jerry's not watching it.
As far as I know, we're in
Jerry's
a free country to share our opinions if people who want to not agree with us.
Yeah. So long may that spirit continue. Go on, Andrew. Final word then. Let's hand the baton over to you.
Can you just flash your number up again? I've got half of it up there.
Sorry, I thought you were going to add something profound there. You just want my
I
number.
will in a minute. 59303.
Yeah.
Right.
Boom. There you have it.
Yeah, and to echo what you just said, I want to continue that. I want us to be able to kind of have a safe space for us to kind of be able to vent and talk and, you know, discuss and debate and disagree civilly, you know, and whilst maintaining a little bit of decorum along the way. You know, I don't want it to become an absolute free-for-all, kind of like what you've curated already. So, like I said, I wanted to believe what the man cave was, but, you know, without you having to give up your Friday evenings accordingly, you know. So, I get it. I get the fact you've got kids and you want your life back a little bit. I get it. You do this every morning for Good Morning Portugal, so I kind of understand where you're coming from.
Well, let me know how I can help on the technical side. I think this is a great sentiment.
I'll give you a shout over the weekend. You know, not too early, not too late. I'll sensible time, and I'll give you a shout about a couple of days.
Yeah, for sure. Love, life, laughter, freedom, liberty, and happiness. I think that just about sums it up, doesn't it? With our unique flavour of maleness, of our multinationalness, of our various opinions here. Perfectly said, and I think that is Simon. And thank you to everybody who's tuned in tonight, and everyone who's ever tuned into this and made it what it is. So let's go out with this.